Am I the a-hole for wanting to be intimate with my wife? I don't know, Sophia.
Yes.
Yes. This story is to answer the question, how should you handle disagreements when married? And it comes from Turbulent Context 944, who says, I, male 28, dated my wife, let's call her Rena, female 26, for 3 years before we got married. And during that time, she made it known that she would like to remain a virgin until marriage. We both met in a religious event and are both church-going and religious. But this was not a problem. She's overall a wonderful person, the most caring, loving, sweet wife I could ever have. And not to mention, beautiful as well. She takes care of me and even took some time to take care of my mother when she was in the hospital due to a car accident, and has no problem with babysitting my sister's kids, 5 and 7, who love her very much. Dude.
What can't she do?
Super girlfriend.
He sounds amazing.
Everyone tells me how lucky I am, and I feel the same. We've been married for 4 months now and live together in my apartment. Her grandma had been sick for years, and her dying wish was to see Rena get married before she passes. I don't know if we do poll this right now, but I'm curious in the comments. Do you get married for if you have someone in your life you love a lot, do you get married?
Like if your relative's going to die, do you get married?
Yeah, I don't think we need to do a poll necessarily, but I'm just curious. I'm curious. This is questions. I'm very curious. Yeah, is going to die. Do you marry?
Do you marry?
Yeah, yes or no. I'm curious. Someone you really love, someone that not just like anybody, you know what I mean? But anyways, I'm curious.
Not just any old grandma on the street.
Not just any old grandma. A super grandma. Okay, I'm curious what you have to say. So, Rena is the only girl among 8 cousins, so she was very special and close to her grandparents. Knowing this, I proposed to her as her whole family and mine have basically become one, and it was a no-brainer at that point. We got married in the courthouse within a week after knowing the prognosis. We went straight to the hospital and had a small party there with her since she had a private room and the hotel staff allowed it. Sadly, she passed about 17. Wow. Kind of beautiful though, that they were able to
have the
as long as everyone's on board.
Yeah.
Which he was the one that did it. So he was definitely on board. It's kind of beautiful. But later that night, Sophia, after getting to the hotel from the wedding, she tells me she thinks we should wait until we marry in a church because she considers this marriage legal but not anointed by God, and it's not right. It's not right. We cuddle, kiss, but then when it gets heated, she stops me midway and tells me the time will come and we will enjoy it. Our families are planning a big church wedding for us in April, when we will be fully yoked. But I don't know how I could wait that long. I guess fully yoked is like fully married. There you go. It is terribly uncomfortable cuddling in bed with her and wanting to make sweet, sweet love with her, knowing I can't. She moved in with me in my 1-bedroom apartment a month after our marriage, so it's been 3 months now of cohabiting temporarily before we move into a bigger place. I feel in every way we are a married couple, not newlyweds, but more like an old couple because of a lacking in the intimacy department. We do groceries together, clean, cook, take care of each other, except that part. She says she believes our first time will be special since we will have it during our honeymoon in Spain right after the wedding. We have both been a big fan of Spain. Anyway, the other night we were watching a movie and started kissing that gradually ended up getting more and more heated. She stops me after some time and we had an argument because yes, I know I was in the wrong and didn't control myself. I guess I should have asked what marriage and spicy sleep really meant to her before proposing instead of assuming, but I also think I'm being deprived of something important in a relationship. She didn't speak to me for 2 days, and just a while ago we had an honest conversation and have decided that we should just move back to our parents until our actual church wedding in April. We originally thought living together since we were legally married would be a good start at knowing each other, but I guess this is for the best. I still have this nagging feeling in my head. So, am I the a-hole for wanting intimacy for my wife? Also, I never once forced myself on her. Everything we do is consensual, and I always stop as soon as she says no because I respect her. I guess I'm just frustrated most of all, and I want to know if I'm an a-hole for feeling this way. Sophia,
yes.
We have edits. We got
it all.
We have comments.
Oh my God.
We have updates.
Oh my God.
But you know what we have to do first?
What?
We have to talk about
Let's
it.
talk, because
We have to break it
I got
down.
thoughts and feelings.
So, interesting situation that OP is in.
My initial thoughts are, because someone said that they get both POVs, and I think I'm on that kind of train right now.
Yes.
Because on one hand, you have the wife who obviously we're looking at it, we're like, oh, well, she said she wanted to wait until marriage. But also, if this is part of her religion of like wanting to wait until marriage, it makes sense that she wants that in a church because it's part of her religion. So like I understand that part, but then I also understand his part a little bit because I think that a lot of people who do wait for marriage don't tend to live together before that.
Yes. This is a very like different scenario for this type of situation, like a very religious, like religious celibacy and abstinence before marriage type deal. I agree with you. I think I kind of see both sides, where there was one point that he mentioned right before he finished this part where he said, you know, maybe I should have communicated more on what that meant. And I think ideally both of them should have like tried to come to the table, because like OP, knowing that he's in his mind, he's like, oh, I'm excited for this to finally happen. And he's thinking that the legal marriage was it.
Yeah.
Right.
And she should have been like, actually, this is what I'm thinking is a marriage in my mind.
Yes. So like the ideal scenario is kind of what he said, where, hey, we talk about this before I do the proposal. So that way we kind of know before he does the big proposal and they see grandma and everything, they know both of them what they're getting into, and they can either agree or maybe disagree, or maybe at that point it's like, hey, do we move up the church wedding to a little bit make sooner. To a little bit sooner, and maybe like you do the church wedding there, like you rush the church wedding and then you go to grandma's for the reception, kind of like they did, you know, from courthouse to their grandma in the hospital. So yeah, I feel like I see both sides. I don't think, are they both the a-hole and not the a-hole at the same time for not communicating?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that they're not necessarily. Yeah, I think they're. To me, I don't think there are any a-holes, but they need to communicate.
Yeah, they just need to communicate.
I think there's a problem, and it's communication.
Yeah, 100%.
What a fitting thing for a Lenka la chat to say.
I have never heard that. Oh, I have never heard of that saying. Is that a French saying?
I don't know. Are you French, Lenka?
Well, we have more story to read, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into this first edit. So thanks everyone for your feedback. I was reading everything and appreciate your points. I do want to point out that we are not getting divorced or annulled, and I know I have no right to force her into anything. Yes, I just want to let out how I feel. Also, like I mentioned in the comments, we also would like a larger wedding, although it takes longer to plan since her and my relatives are available in April and have already taken PTO. That is an important thing to consider, where it's like weddings take so much planning and logistics, and they honestly would probably have to scrap most of what they planned for, which would be pretty like hard to do.
Yeah.
For everyone involved, I feel like, because like maybe people can't make it. Like there's a lot of
if you have weddings that are not in your country, hard. Like anything abroad.
And just to bone? Maybe it's too large of an order. I will wait for her, of course, and I value her virtues and how strong she is with her principles. We didn't talk about spicy sleep before the courthouse wedding, I guess because we both had differing assumptions on the relationship, and despite her wanting the church wedding before we moved in, she offered to move in as a compromise since she knows what she's asking is also not easy. Honestly, it sounds like, and I think they moved back separately like just before they finished the first part.
Oh, okay.
I think so. I honestly think at that point, I see where she's coming from. She's like, hey, here's a little give, but honestly, it's like worse.
Yeah.
For OP, because it sounds like OP was like totally on board. Like they were living separately. They had the relationship. It was like kind of like working well. But now he's like, yo, I'm right here. And
yeah, I feel like
this
she put the pressure on her, not in like she's in the wrong or anything, but I think she put a little bit of pressure on herself because they were technically legally married.
Yes.
And then she was like, oh, well, we should move in together. That will tide you over.
Well-intentioned, but had unintended consequences.
Yes, exactly.
And I don't think another small gathering is necessary, because at this point, it'll be all just for show and take away the uniqueness of the church wedding and the feelings involved if we had too many wedding-related events. I want her to feel special on that day because she is, and to feel like how a bride does on that one special day. Legally, though, she has started using my surname because she acknowledges we are married, but that our church wedding will wed us in all ways. We had the courthouse wedding, but didn't invite our minister because, as I mentioned, we wanted the church wedding to be on our big special day only. What I meant by controlling myself is my frustration, not necessarily my desires to take it further. Also, her parents have never told us we had to wait or our church. They consider us married already. I guess for my wife, it's more of a symbolism of marrying in the church, and for the honeymoon to be in every sense of the word. And like we said before, this was simply a issue of communication. Like if that is what she wants and believe, that is a million times okay, infinity times okay. It's just the matter of like both getting on
that. Yeah, get on the same
letting
page.
Him know that they can plan. Having spicy sleep and then going on a honeymoon defeats the purpose, and I also think it would be great to do it then. We fly to Spain the next day after the wedding, and don't think we would even have the energy for anything the night of the church wedding. That's a great point. That is
they'll be
actually
like super jet lagged.
Yeah, that is a fantastic point. What the heck? She is not a as well to clear things out. Reddit is,
God.
I mean, I guess there's always a possibility,
Yeah,
but.
I mean, she did. I mean, I feel like it was pretty clear that it was really just religious.
That is
Still
true.
could be
We
though.
have seen bigger plot twists on this show, to be
It's true.
clear. Oh my God. She is not a as well to clear things up. I know everyone doesn't believe in abstinence and applying Bible principles in life, and I understand that, but I request to please respect ours. Right now, she will be staying with her parents, but we are planning on talking to a counselor as well as our minister if we could change any arrangements if needed about our thoughts on spicy sleep in our unique circumstance. Thanks. That is another good thing, I think, in addition to now having, it seems like now we're talking about it. Now they're living separately, so I think that will, help OP kind of get back to a place where he was before, where it wasn't like such a temptation. And now they're getting some counseling, handling it pretty well.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I know. I think they're on the right track. I feel like they talked about the issue and then they're making the moves to figure it out.
Sophia, why do I feel like I feel a plot twist divorce coming up? Why do I feel that?
I don't know. I think you feel that because you've been burned so many times.
Yeah. Nothing so often in these stories, it doesn't work out. And this is going too
for
well.
The other shoe to drop.
It is going too well at this point, Sophia.
I feel like Riley would get on board.
Oh, okay. Also, to address the elephant that's not in the room, a lot of you were commenting before, oh, hey, Riley's getting back.
Sophia's
Hey, I want to. How's vacation? No, Riley isn't here. Why isn't he here? He's not here because he booked a very late flight with a certain paper towel tube airplane.
Spirited airline.
A certain cardboard with box with wings that was not able to, that literally completely canceled and was already a red eye. So he's going to be back hopefully tonight. He did text an update that I did not read, but I will read later.
He's coming around 6.
He said that today. So fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we're going to be at VidCon this Wednesday through Saturday. If you are going to be at VidCon, please say hi to us.
Hi.
Please. Oh, Sophia, you want to maybe, okay, story time. You're running to someone in Culver City.
I was in Culver City with a friend on Friday, and a lovely one of you lovelies, your name was Savannah, if you're there, came up and said hi. It was really nice. I was very excited.
Shout out Savannah. Was that your first solo fan interaction?
Oh yeah, solo. Because the other two were first was with Riley, and then the rest, the second one was with you guys, and that was my first solo. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you.
The crazy thing is when we go all together, me and Sam went to Vegas at like the end of 2022 to do some Man on the Street content, and he wore like the orange jacket. The amount of times we got recognized was like,
it's the orange jacket.
It was infinitely more than we'd ever been recognized. Like even to this day, like I think if we're with all 4 of us together and at VidCon, we might see some friends, some okay friends, some okay family.
My mom's been making me clothes so that I'm stylish at VidCon.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
She's made me a new outfit.
Sam and Sophia's mom is like amazing at both design and clothing and architecture.
She's a jack of all trades.
What a gem. What a gem. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a gem that is the reveal of this story.
Whether or not it ends happily or
divorce, like I'm predicting. Do we think divorce?
Sure.
Do we think divorce?
There was another
we can end this poll. So this was 68% said no, I would not marry someone because my grandma is going, oh, what if What if we have spicy sleep? What about dirt sleep? Have we already talked about
sleep.
that?
That's good.
Dirt
I like
sleeping.
that. Dirt sleep.
All the sleeps. All the sleeps.
Wait, what is the question?
That is a great question. Yes, divorce. Yes or no?
On the horizon.
Are they going to divorce? I have nothing to stand
no
on,
faith.
but I have a feeling.
But you know what this story is about, John?
What?
Faith.
Gosh, diddly darn if you're not right, Sophia. Well, let's figure out what happens. So, a commenter asked for the relevant comment, ask OP if he had discussed spicy sleep after marriage due to his wife's beliefs. OP says, yes, she's very honest and is actually very curious about spicy sleep and even talks about how this is a very spiritual connection. But she would really like us to wed in the church and have our marriage be blessed. Update number 1. It's been a while since I posted about my situation with my wife, and I just want to give a little update. I talked to Rena, his wife, the day after I posted and talked about what exactly is holding her back and asked if she has any concerns. She could open up to me and talk about it like a married couple, if she even considered us one.
Ooh, ouch.
That was a little bit
claws out.
That was a little meow. We need a little more.
Put some milk in front of this kitty.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out.
Lenka.
She told me she had seen the post and had actually read a lot of the comments you guys posted and realized it stems from her feeling everything was so rushed and it was not how she expected to get married and in her head and what comes after that.
Which I think is a valid feeling. They did have to rush the wedding for the grandma.
They had this whole thing planned out and now they're like, oh, let's do it immediately. That's totally fair. That's a big change to deal with. She wanted to make her Nana happy, but at my expense. It dawned on her after our small party in the hospital how she didn't feel ready for it because she didn't quote unquote feel married, thus letting me know later on that she wanted to wait. She has apologized about how she handled things and thanked me for being patient. I have done the same and we have been talking about it every day, although she still lives with her parents. We changed our plans altogether and have decided to do an elopement and be married in Rome.
Ooh.
Honestly, kind of fire.
Better and better.
I like the solution. We contacted a relative we have living there who set up everything from the venue, photographer, and the minister. Wow. We decided on a little ceremony by the lake with just us, the minister, our relative, and the photographer. We are going to be leaving in a week and we are very excited about it. And since we will be there, we'll have our honeymoon in Spain right after as planned since it's only a few hours away.
Okay.
I mean, low-key, kind of perfect.
Kind of perfect.
Kind of perfect. The April wedding will still push through for our family and friends as more of a vow renewal / reception. Love that. We have informed them about it and they do understand how our case has been very unique and are very happy and supportive regardless. Our elopement is simply a ceremony for the both of us, not thinking about other people for once. We are already looking for a bigger apartment for us when we return from the trip so Rena could have her own working studio as my apartment is too small. We will be updating if we can after the trip as your input has really put things in perspective. Thanks for everything and it really helped us look deeper into the foundation of our principles and our priority. It's perfect. It's perfect. But no.
What?
It's not over.
Oh.
You think we're ending here and it's all just going to be peachy keen.
Well,
peachy
it still
keen.
could be.
Yeah, well, you know what, Sophia? Guess what the poll says? 61% of people think there will be divorce.
61 of you hate love.
That's a majority, okay? I am putting my name on the line that this is going to end in the messiest divorce you've ever seen on the show.
Place your bets.
I'm putting all my chips on the table.
Whoa.
That's what I'm doing today.
Putting all of your chips on the table?
All of my chips.
What if you're wrong?
I put all my chips. It is what it is. It is what it is.
All right. Well, you might win big.
Or I might lose big. Wait, hey, stop. It started dropping. It went from 61 to 58%. Guys, stay with me. Orange Army. Where are you at? Stand up. Get your juices flowing. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a final update. After this is it, okay?
Ooh.
And it's 6 months later. Get ready. Buckle your seatbelts. This is for all the marbles. It's been 6 months since I posted this, and I just want to give you guys an update. Rena and I finally had our beautiful church wedding last month.
Suck it! You were wrong.
There's more to the story. There's more. It was a sunny and warm day, and she looked stunning, and it was better than anything we both ever imagined.
Oh yeah, totally getting divorced.
Yeah, it's
totally divorced.
It is guaranteed divorce. There's literally not a ticket down.
You know when they call you beautiful, you're headed straight for the door.
That's right. Our families helped a lot in the wedding preparations, and as I mentioned in the previous post, my wife did move out to live with her parents until we got married in church. We made sure to talk thoroughly about how we felt and if this was really what she wanted. We met every week and talked every night until the day we finally got married in church. Mid-February, there were talks and doubts about the relationship and if our expectations of a marriage were aligned and whether it was best to just hold off on the wedding to see if we were indeed compatible and if our courtroom wedding was merely an obligation we had to fulfill before her nan passing. It was just a box to check.
No!
That's it. That's all. It's forced marriage.
Just for tax purposes?
Just for grandma.
No!
It was a difficult month for us. Really difficult, guys. I don't know if they're going to make it through. We talked about her fears, and she explains it was just that she has had this belief in her mind about keeping herself pure in her big day, and it was purely hers alone and not her family or anybody else. We did go through marriage counseling to help more in dealing with our situation. During this time, I moved to a larger place and found a better paying job and got busy. That's great. She started working from home and accompanied her brother who moved to Japan to help him get settled. She was there for about 2 weeks and actually had a nice break. We both had a lot of time and it helped strengthen our relationship to be honest and to realize how much we really wanted to be with each other. Yeah, right. We just got back from our 2-week honeymoon to the number 2 in our bucket list, New Zealand.
Oh my God.
More travel. These guys these travelers over here.
These guys are travel fiends. means.
Little explorers. Travel. I fiend for travel as much as I fiend for Jesus. We originally planned to go to Spain, but we decided to change itineraries since we plan to travel to Europe in the future, so Spain could wait. It was wonderful, but very exhausting and costly trip, but so worth it. We drove in a camper van and stayed at the campgrounds every night under the stars.
Divorce.
Yeah, the seeds for divorce. You look into the skies and you're like, these are infinite people that I could be with other than you.
The stars will guide your hand.
Exactly.
The sign. The divorce.
Look to the stars. You see, divorce is in you.
Lion King?
That's right. I hiked a lot and basically just spent time together and enjoyed nature. And yes, for everyone waiting for an update, we had our first intimate moment.
Whoa! Ay, Chihuahua.
Ay, caramba. Under the stars.
Zooey mama.
Zooey mama. First time was pretty uncomfortable for her. We were also in a van, so not the most pleasant place.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, they waited that long and then did it in a van?
Yeah, I could just get a Honda Odyssey and, just do your...
He's like, babe, this is going to be so romantic.
This is going to be so great. Got a whole air mattress, babe. It's going to be...
Don't worry. We can put the
great.
seats down. It's fine.
Look, I'll light a candle. It's not a fire hazard, I swear. Oh my God. And she still has this thing where she can't stop overthinking every time we are doing it. Haha. We are getting better at it though. Oh, and we have actually slowly learned each other's wants and dislikes. She actually initiates it from time to time, and it made me happy, but also relieved that she urges to do it too and letting me know. But her family moved her stuff into my new place while we were on vacation, so it was a relief not to have to move stuff again after a long, exhausting trip and just be able to rest coming home. Jet lag is still really bad, but just thought of writing this now while my wife is sleeping next to me. We are both scared, terrified.
Divorced.
Divorce is imminent.
All of John's chips are on the line, and we have one paragraph left.
A paragraph and a half. Excuse me,
I
madam.
should have put money on this.
Right? Yeah, we should have made a bet. Oh my gosh, another Venmo for me to send Sophia that you will hound me for.
Show me the money.
We are both scared for our future's newlyweds, but also excited for our little family. Rena, my wife, and I hope to have kids in the near future, but for now, we have decided on becoming fur parents first and looking into shelters once we are full. Monster. She also read the post I wrote before just recently and found the comment about having spicy sleep and skydiving to be hilarious, and she is quite curious about us doing it. Lol.
What?
I know you're not very experienced in the spicy sleep department, OP's wife, but that sounds terrible.
This just sounds like public indecency.
You're in the sky.
Well, you're not.
You're in the sky. Who cares? What are the police gonna follow you in a freaking police helicopter? Let's get him, boy.
Stop!
Stop! Freeze! They're just flying. They have a giant bullhorn. They're like, sir, you're disrespecting the decency of the skies. Pull over now. Eject your parachute immediately before you eject something else, sir. Oh, good Lord. Time to read about divorce. So if that does happen, that's a whole post in itself. And we are now divorced. I'm just kidding.
Wait, there's a comment.
There's a comment? Oh, there's still hope.
There you go.
There's still hope. Oh, Kimberly finds us closer to Sky
Here,
Daddy.
read it.
Okay. We are now divorced. Woo! I was right. Oh, good stuff, guys.
We don't get a lot of wholesome stories.
This is great. This is, we should definitely do, let's add a wholesome story to the weekly rotation, honestly. A wholesome story vibes. Those are great. So let's go back to our question. How should you handle disagreements when married? How do we think they did?
I think they were a little bit rocky in the beginning, but then they got through it and they handled it like champs.
Yeah, I will be honest. I think this was a near perfect interaction because I do empathize with both sides where, think about it. When they were planning the rushed court wedding, grandma was in the hospital. We don't know when she's going to go. They're rushing to coordinate all of the logistics. So I could see how both of them, it kind of slipped their minds.
Yeah, the communication stuff is kind of fair considering they were going through a very stressful time.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Holly just commented spicy falling. This is We need to just find a dictionary of spicy blank.
Yeah, well, we've got dirt sleep.
Dirt sleep. And sleep and then spicy. Yeah, those
sleep
are
and
the
spicy.
things. But yeah, I honestly think this is a pretty textbook example because like in a marriage and a relationship over years and years, there will be miscommunications, disagreements. And this one like felt very reasonable that it kind of happened. It totally happened on accident. I don't think anybody had any misaligned intentions or malicious intentions. And when the issue was brought up, they both seemed to be pretty great at communicating and breaking it down. I'm curious, chat, if you have any disagreements on that, but I honestly think like they talked it out, they got counseling, they found some solutions to, speed things up.
Freaking agreed.
For the first time in a long time, I don't know if I could really kind of critique anything here. I think they did it good. But yeah, that's good stuff, ladies and gentlemen. But this episode is how many minutes?
He's 39. So probably really like
39.
35.
That means we got a whole another diddly darn story in this right here episode, my ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna hop on into it. I feel like we should do one more story.
I think so.
Maybe S3.
Let's do it.
I found spicy pictures of a woman on my husband's Snapchat. He said my pregnancy hormones are making me crazy.
You're pregnant. I'm crazy. It is what it is.
Yeah, dude. I think that happens a lot with pregnancy. You just may randomly see some Snapchat spiciness.
It happens.
Here goes. I've been with my husband for 5 years, married for 1.5. I've never once doubted his fidelity. He's great, super smart, funny, handsome, and I thought loyal. It's never given me a reason to doubt him or be suspicious. By the way, this comes from Little Girl is on a Wire. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime. So I thought it was kind of odd when he downloaded Snapchat. Kind of weird.
Strange. What you doing over there, buddy?
What person do you know that's over the age of like 14 that's downloading Snapchat?
Riley?
Do you have Snapchat?
No. But first, what Snapchat is basically you guys take a picture and you send it to someone, and then after a little bit, it goes away and you can never get it back.
I'll have you know, back in high school, I was using Snapchat to send before you were even born.
Wow. I'm not saying that on air.
He's not big on social media. I have one, but I'm not very active. We rarely snap at each other. He said his friends were really active and he liked it better than Facebook. So that's why he has it.
The losing combination of social. If your man has Snapchat and Facebook, dump him.
Honestly, true, dude. Who's using Snapchat and Facebook? I feel like you're straddling the social medias at that point. You got like the dinosaur old social media, and then you got the newfangled kid on the block.
Bottom of the
Choose
barrel,
a
baby.
lane. Choose a lane. You know?
Only have
Peyton
one.
says, I have Snapchat. Don't use it, though. Good. So I thought nothing of it. This morning, my husband was in the shower and left his phone on my nightstand. He's half asleep when his phone started chirping. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp. And it woke me up. We've all had the same phone and ringtone for text messages. Not knowing that he had put his phone on my nightstand for whatever reason, I thought it was my phone in my half asleep state. Despite his black phone case, mine is green, I didn't even notice. And I looked at who texted. It said mom.
Mommy?
It said mommy.
Uh-oh. That could be bad.
Recently watched this little Instagram reel where she's like, don't call me baby, call me mommy. Mommy. Or mommy sota. Is what, mommy sota. Ooh.
Now that's spicy texting.
I need to make a call real quick.
Need new underwear after saying that, or is that the call? I didn't even notice, and I looked at who had texted and said, "Mom." Okay, my mom texted me. All right, I can ignore that until I'm actually awake. But under was a Snapchat notification. Snap from someone named Roxy.
That's his mom's name?
Well, I don't know.
She's got 2 accounts?
I don't know. Name fits, though. Definitely someone's rocks are getting off.
That's right.
With Roxy. I was sorry. Apologize to anyone named Roxy right now. Beautiful name.
I don't apologize.
I was like, who the F is Roxy and why is she Snapchatting me? I opened it and bam! It's a picture of a cat. Meow. And not the meowing kind with 4 legs and a tail. The caption said, I want your tongue inside me again.
Ooh.
This ain't the first time.
That one word, it was already horrendous, but that one word just took it out of the solar system.
Yeah, pretty bad. The again is that's the chopping block
already
word.
horrendous.
It's already
but
yeah.
Just
oh. All right. So before we keep going, is there any way this is not bad?
Wrong number. Wrong handle.
Also, back when I had Snapchat, back in the day when I was a wee lad, there were a lot of people DMing me, "Oh, I'm a hot single in your area," and it was not actually a hot single; it was a robot.
So many moms, dude.
Yeah, so many MILFs in my area.
Hot moms in your area.
It was honestly crazy.
I guess, if OP is to go further, but then she has to.
I think snap back.
Bot or nah? That's the question.
Yeah. Do you like roosters or cocks?
No. I immediately thought it was a mistake, but I was on alert now after being awoken by a vulva. I pretty quickly realized that this was my husband's phone, and I felt like I was going to crap the bed and started to sweat. I looked at his contacts on Snapchat, and she had a yellow heart next to her name. I looked up what the F that means, and it means they are best friends. Oh, no.
Yep. Unless they went into the settings and they changed the emojis based on their interaction types.
Is that a thing you can do?
That is a thing you can do. But the default is if you're yellow, you are best friends.
You know so much about Snapchat. Right, that's crazy.
Yeah, because I grew up with it. I'm surprised you didn't know that.
I stopped using it in like midway through college.
When you use something so much, just like you need to just like sometimes take a pause and just like put it down. You know what I mean? Like college people go crazy. It's okay. It's in you do college and you go on.
There's definitely pictures floating around. Maybe.
Oh, really? Don't tell chat that. Don't tell chat that.
But no, like regular old pictures.
DM me on Discord if you want any.
New subscription coming to you. Just kidding.
I can definitely get you a butt.
I feel like I'm going to be sick. I don't do any other snooping because honestly, I know what I'll find. I just don't understand how he could do this. We're happy. At least I thought we were happy. We have spicy sleep at least 4 times a week. Respectable. How many years have they been married? Are they married? They're married. How old are they? I feel like that's a good amount of time.
I feel like it's a good amount of time.
That's a good amount. I've been with my husband for 5 years, married for 1.5. That's solid.
Still good.
That's solid.
Putting up numbers.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself in the hot seat, Riley.
But Riley, you like
only see her like twice a week.
Exactly. The amount of times that you see her, like do some mental math of like times per sessions.
Okay.
So that's why Riley's. Okay.
Here's the real punter, Reddit. I'm almost 12 weeks pregnant with our first child.
Classic pregnant cheater. Round them up and send them off.
I don't know. Like, we know this is true. If you're a long-time fan of the show, you know the most likely time that cheating happens is during pregnancy. Unfortunately.
And terminal illness.
And terminal.
I can't forget our old friend terminal illness.
I found a new statistic. I was watching this YouTube, and men are 624% more likely to leave their partner over terminal illness than a woman will.
Wow. 624%?
Yeah.
Those are not favorable odds. Wow.
That's crazy. He's sitting in the recliner about 20 feet from me, and I just can't find the words to confront him. How do I say what I need to say? There is no way I am somehow overreacting or misreading the situation, is there? I'm heartbroken and don't know what to do. And there is an update. But chat, what do you think we should do? What should happen here? Is it like, cut and dry? Is this 100% cheating? Is it maybe a little bot that's sneaking in there? I'm still holding out hope. I'm still holding out hope that it's just
you're a hopeful
man, the bot. But yeah, what are you thinking?
I mean, dude, the evidence is pretty strong so far.
Stacking.
Pretty strong so far.
Stacking.
Again. Yeah. Bots don't say again. That's the thing.
That's true. They say,
hot moms in your area don't say again.
Yeah, they say like for the first time it's gonna be so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like the evidence is looking real bad. I guess OP has to ask the question. She hasn't told us yet. Is this one of her personal kind of like instant hardline deal breakers? We've seen this with other people. Like
yes.
Yes. And then also like,
and how deep does it go? Is it just sending messages, or have they oh, well, I guess she said stick it in.
Again, the word again is just like,
that's true.
All
that's
telling.
True. So it definitely got physical, but maybe in some people's book, oral is not that bad.
hey, two people can decide.
Two people can decide
whatever
anything.
they want in their relationship.
That's true.
But
I can't imagine they've decided that was okay. But yeah, maybe.
Follow Samuel Donner snap for more relationship advice.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Maybe he accidentally like shot it into this person. Like it was just like, whoosh, and it fell and it's like, oh no. And then he was like trying to like suck it out so he wouldn't get a there wouldn't be another pregnancy. It's kind of like, it's like when
that might have been the craziest
hypothetical
hypothetical scenario you've ever said, uttered in the history of this show, in the history of this program.
When your homie gets like bit by a snake, and
you gotta suck it out.
Suck it out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
suck
like,
it out.
There's a movie about that.
It's like
really
that.
good.
What movies are you watching?
Oh, you haven't seen that?
What?
Oh yeah, it's eggplant. That's literally.
It's called
it's
Eggplant?
The emoji
Yeah,
movie.
it's called the
Eggplant
the
movie.
The box.
Something
The
like that.
box? What's in the box?
You and I watched it together on Netflix, right?
I don't think we watched it together.
Ezekiel
That's
says
crazy.
kissing above the equator is cheating. Kissing below the equator is not cheating.
Interesting.
No, I read that wrong. How is kissing below the equator not cheating?
Right.
Yeah, no. You never know. Two people can create whatever kind of vibe they want, but this does not seem like the vibe.
Samuel Donner 2025. First one of the year.
Yeah. Oh, Hannah with the $75 donation. No message provided because no message needed. All right. Well, we got an update. Jan Digital. Just read the story, please. How about you just read my... Oh, get wrecked.
Banned.
Yeah.
We're banned.
First and foremost, thank you all for your love and support. I feel it from here. Honestly, thank you. It's amazing to me that strangers care so much about my baby and me. Love back to all of you. So, husband knows something is up. I don't know if he saw that I opened a Snapchat from Roxy and is afraid of what I saw and afraid to bring it up, or if he's clueless and can just tell I'm upset about something. He's been asking me if I'm okay, if something is wrong about every hour. That is the habits of a guilty man. Guilty man. If it wasn't guilty, then he wouldn't be asking 24/7.
The ratio is too high, brother.
Told him my sister was having a hard time today. Ironically, she just broke up with her boyfriend. Why? Guess why, John?
Don't tell me.
Cheating.
Where were the tongues?
Where were the tongues?
That's the question.
I want to know where every tongue is. I want an air tag on every tongue. Put an air tag. An air tag. Yeah.
the no free sponsor version.
Sorry, air tag. And I was going over to her place for dinner. I live in the Pacific time zone. Let's go, PST for life.
That's us.
That's us, PST. And to spend the night with her, I'm here now. My sister is 20 and a whiz at the social media thing. She stalked his Facebook to see if this Roxy person popped up anywhere. She looked through his friends and bingo bango, we found a mango. We found her. Well, at least pretty sure. I didn't see her face in the Snapchat. The screen was too full of her crotch.
Does the curtain match the drapes?
She's Facebook friends with my husband's good friend. She is listed as a receptionist at my husband's friend's law firm. Also, really quick, I'm not a man that goes around sending spicy texts all the time. Allegedly. And at least anymore. I've grown. But in my prime, I feel like
prime.
I was never getting like full up crotch shots. It was like, it's usually like,
Did you ask for it?
I also never asked. That's true. But like, I feel like it's usually like an aesthetic.
You got more body parts.
You got more body parts.
Yeah.
It's an aesthetic. You light some candles. Maybe you like put on like a little outfit.
Yeah. Well.
Or you don't put it on an outfit. But there's more aesthetics, right? Like I feel like just straight up shot. Like where's the artistry in that?
Well, what I'm putting together now, if she's just going straight crotch shot and like, you need to get your tongue back here again, I'm wondering if it's a little dominatrix kind of vibe.
Oh, she's like, hey, hey, directions, tongue right here.
Get on this kitty, meow. Okay, do that. That's what she said.
Well, my husband works a couple blocks from the law firm, and he stops by often to grab lunch with his friend. That would explain how they met. Oh,
Get closer to the
yeah.
truth.
I mean, I feel like that's pretty damning.
Yeah. Any more defense for our boy over here?
I don't got much.
You're
honestly.
the, what is it, Benjamin Franklin, right? He was like the original person that, like, you know, was the lawyer against the traitor, but hey, everyone deserves a
Well,
right
Benjamin
to fight.
Franklin was the original mistress man of America.
Oh, exactly.
He was
Double
known
whammy.
for his philandering.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Still formulating a plan on confrontation, trying to get as much information as possible first. My sister wants to burn his life to the ground. And honestly, I do too, but I'm going to address this in the most adult way possible so that I can walk away from him with my head held high. All right. I love this. There's not often that we see the Reddit population holding straight down, sticking their tongues in whatever rough and tumble thing they can. You know, they usually try to go down to the level of the aggressor. Props to OP for taking the high road.
And also expressing what you're feeling, which, hey, expressing is great, you know, but then, like, okay, when it comes down to what's the action I'm gonna do, let me take this the best, you know, let me put him to shame, you know.
Yeah, exactly. The most shame is when you take the high road every single time, you know. So I walk away from him with my head held high, unlike where his head has been, and be a deserving role model to my baby girl. Not sure it's a girl, just got a feeling. And good news, my uncle is a lawyer. Ba-bam! Most of what he deals with are divorces.
Double.
Ba-bam! I've already contacted him and asked if we could discuss some potential legal issues. Didn't specify what yet. Feels like something I should do in person during our meeting. I told him it was urgent. We were meeting tomorrow morning. I will try to update as much as I can. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. All again, internet strangers, but there's more.
Oh.
We got some comments. We got some updates. This juice is just juicing.
It is unfortunately very juicy.
It's juicy. It's juicy. It's wet. We're lapping it up. We're putting our heads down, and we're gonna get through this.
Well, Sam, look, I know you like reminiscing on your Snapchat glory days, but let's get down to brass tacks here. Like,
yeah, tell me about the brass.
What do we do now? What's the high road?
What's the high road? I mean, the high road is I think divorce. You know, the high road is divorce.
Do we confront him and be like, "Yo, you did this," or like?
I think confront. But usually they say like talk to the divorce lawyer before you confront.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that. You know, generally, I feel like
I guess it depends
you
on.
want to get ahead of it.
Yeah, because custody.
Yeah, custody.
So I guess if OP can get like legal evidence that he was cheating, that just confirms that she will have the best chance possible at the custody deal she wants. So
it's true.
I feel like it's oftentimes a unfortunate necessity. Like the ideal is like you can just sit down and communicate openly and everything. But I think we have read several stories where it was like, oh, that just like super quick, you know, that first 24 hours of collecting evidence actually did come in clutch for the divorce. But maybe it's like, hey, 24 hours and then after that.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
communicate as quick as possible.
I think so. I think communicate as quick as possible. But we got some comments before we get into this update. John, you've been dancing a lot.
I'm going to give you a live demonstration and you're going to see it too.
Show me those hips. Oh, damn. That is a good move. But you know what is also an amazing move?
What is that, Sam?
Becoming an OK Storytime member.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month. So go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Well, let's get back to the story.
I would just turn to him and say, so Roxy has an interesting looking kitty cat, and just watch his face.
Ooh.
Or say you were thinking of naming your kid Roxy.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. That's really good.
Another comment says he thinks you're too stupid to figure this out and has obviously cheated on you with her if she says she wants his tongue in her cat again. Please don't put up with this crap. Get mad and hang on to your anger. You deserve better. Comment 3, did the snap have his name on it or in it? Does he have that same person on Facebook or Instagram? Many adult models /stars have Snapchat and send snaps out en masse. It may not have been specifically to him, but we already have that update of Roxy working at the law firm. So I feel like unless she's doing a little side gig, I don't think that's likely. Reply the yellow heart on Snapchat means she snaps him back at least, and we have an update.
We haven't even got to the part where we've confronted him with this yet. Like we're not even
We're not even there yet.
And then there's the divorce. Oh, man.
We're not even there yet.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but we're on our way.
Let's go.
We're on our way. So, again, I am overwhelmed by the support and the love I've received from everyone. It feels great to be comforted and cheered on by you all. Thank you so much. So, my husband cheated. He has been since maybe 2 weeks before last Christmas, according to him.
According to him.
According to him. Could be longer. Yeah, last Christmas.
I snapped her my...
The very next day, she snapped me her...
Yeah.
Censored.
I was very calm when comforting him and took the advice many of you gave me by telling him that he needs to explain to me who Roxy is and why she is his best friend on Snapchat. His face gave him away immediately, but he still tried to lie to me at first. He said that she works with his friend and they met when his friend invited her out to lunch with the two of them. At first, he claimed he only met her about 2 months ago. He said that they're best friends because he doesn't receive many Snapchats from others and she is extremely active on the app. He said she just sends randoms and is really into fitness, so she sends a lot of inspirational snaps on being healthy and living a better life. You gotta eat healthy. You got to eat healthy.
And you know,
you know what's 0 calories and a good time, John?
Oh, man. What?
This next line says, he said that every once in a while, he'll send her something back, like a picture of a cheeseburger or something just to tease her about her level of health consciousness. First, I asked why he didn't tell me about her. Why? He said he didn't even think about it because she's just an acquaintance, not even a friend. Then I asked if he'd ever received anything even remotely inappropriate from her. He answered with, not on purpose.
Buddy.
I'm assuming he went with that because he knew I opened that Snapchat and he probably knew it was a bad one. I asked what not on purpose means. He got very defensive, started raising his voice and saying he doesn't need to explain what that means, that sometimes people accidentally send the wrong Snapchats to the wrong people. That is true. I knew this girl that accidentally sent a private picture to her whole Snapchat story and was on like Paris time and went to bed and then woke up to 1,000 messages from all her friends and family saying like, hey, I don't know if you meant to post this.
1,000 messages? How long did it take you to write that out?
Not like a...
I'm sorry. I'm bullying him today. I'm sorry, guys. The bit's so good. I'm sorry. Oh, man. But she promptly took it down.
Yeah. She promptly took it down. But it does happen. It
does.
I don't think this is true. Karina says, I've done that. It was so embarrassing. Yeah, it happens. That sometimes people accidentally send the wrong Snapchats to the wrong people. Oh, Avery from the Swan says, Sam, I did that once and it was up for like an hour and I was in a sorority. Oh, yeah. Big yikes.
Yeah.
But imagine it being up for 8 hours.
Yeah.
8 hours is so long. So long.
It really is.
Then he had the nerve to say something along the lines of, I feel like I'm on trial here. People warned me that you'd get crazy when you're pregnant, but I never thought it would be this bad.
Oh!
The gaslighting has begun, ladies and gentlemen.
God.
Now, as some of you mentioned in my last post, it seems amazing that I'm able to keep such a level head. That is because I was raised by a mother who always told me that you never accomplish anything with anger. I messed with OP. It was great.
Mom.
That you can be emotional, passionate, upset, etc. without ever raising your voice. Messages received quietly and concisely are just as loud and clear as messages received through yelling and screaming. Honestly,
great.
I like that.
Great mom award.
That is how I lived my life for 26 years. With the exception of a few blowups, I am human. But this moment was an exception. I didn't exactly yell and scream, but I became furious for him to try to blame this on me being pregnant. How unoriginal and offensive. Long story short, he said he'd never seen me this crazy, and I told him that I'd never seen a picture of another girl's kitty cat on my husband's Snapchat before. He came back with that I shouldn't have looked at his Snapchat.
What? He's just mad he got caught.
Well, maybe if you didn't have eyeballs, like a human, you'd be okay. That's what you sound like.
That is a stinky man right there.
You freaking
the
idiot,
stink
stupid boy.
level through the roof.
Huge. poop.
You can smell it down the block. You can say it is the garbage pile that goes to the center of the earth, into the magma, outside the other center. And then there's a space elevator on the other side of the world that is taking that garbage pylon into space.
Keep going.
Past the moon.
Past the moon.
Past Jupiter.
Past it.
And into the Oort cloud.
Yep.
Into
Boom.
the Oort cloud.
There it is. And
Yeah,
then he's
there
done.
it is. And then he's
that's
done.
it.
He's done.
Good night.
That is that level stink. The stink is thick, and we don't like smelling it,
No, we don't.
but we're going to keep going. Came back with that. It was an accident, but even if it hadn't been, there shouldn't be any reason he's receiving Snapchats like that for me to see accidentally or not in the first place. I told him that I may be pregnant, but I'm also an intelligent person, big brain, and I am his wife. So I knew he was lying, and I deserved to know the truth. I asked if I could see his text messages to see if he's been texting Roxy. He said, sure, no messages.
Of course, because they're on Snapchat.
Then I asked to see his Facebook messages, and he looked like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
Oh, his hand was in that cookie jar, just among other things. Oh, God.
In there. To try to subtract the cookie jar.
You really did a full visual right there. You did a full. For any of you audio listeners out there, you may or may not want to go to the video version on YouTube.
Yeah, don't. Oh,
Two hands.
he's crawling in her skin.
Freaking
Into the cookie
bro,
jar.
he's burrowing in there.
the cookie jar.
Oh man, he really wants that cookie.
It's been a while.
What's that from?
What? He told me no. I asked why. He finally broke and started to cry. Told me he couldn't let me see the messages because they would hurt me, because they were inappropriate. Then it all came out. They did the spicy sleep in the backseat of her car the first night they met. This is already long, so I'll spare you all the details, but it's been going on for months. No, they did not always use protection. Although I was recently screened for STIs, and I'll be getting checked again in light of this information.
Oh no. Oh, that's an update I'm not looking forward to.
Can't be doing Little Miss Debbie.
The first night they met.
Man, they don't
Had a
waste
connection.
They really don't waste any time in anything. It's like, my car, we're screwing now. Your tongue, my cat now.
Wow. That was so quick.
For real. Jeez.
My uncle already assured me that if he was unfaithful, we would cream him in court like he creamed in the backseat of that car. Really, the only thing I'm willing to fight him tooth and nail for is our home. Put a lot of effort and money into making this home my dream space. I won't be seeking spousal support, but I will seek child support. I'm obviously heartbroken and told him to go stay in a hotel or with Roxy for all I cared. I confronted him last night. My mom and sister stayed with me last night, let me sob all over them for hours. Right now, I'm sort of numb, but I'm also thinking very clearly. Good. I know what my next 10 moves are. Freaking go.
Oh.
Some freaking Magnus Carlsen out here, 10 steps ahead.
Big brains.
If anyone's on chess streams.
With or without the
buzzer?
Yeah.
Magnus Carlsen doesn't need no buzzer.
Oof.
Oh.
You don't need no buzzer.
That's
Timeless.
right. That's right.
Timeless.
The guy that beat him once. He's the one accused of buzzing up a storm. Oh, I really don't know what to do here.
Guys, I'm lost.
He's-
I ain't be watching chess like that.
So
I know the guy vaguely.
Okay. So the guy is the best, and he played against a guy that had significantly less chess IQ than him.
Right.
And they spectated that he won is because what was in his butt?
He had a butt vibrator that Morse coded the chess moves. And so before each move,
Is there video of this?
I think so, but before each move, it would be like,
Wow. I mean, you got to give it to him. That's a brilliant way to cheat at chess. I mean, that is
yeah,
just,
dude, you get
that's
off
just-
at the same time.
Bro, that's just love of the game right there.
That
That's
is
just
love of the game.
You just freaking love the game. So forget
Yeah, dude.
awards and anything else.
Why
like,
would you ever stop playing chess?
dude?
I love chess.
That's right. Dude, imagine we love the game so much. Riley's like, all right, guys, here's this thing. We don't need a teleprompter anymore. Here it is. We're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I love the game that much.
We
It's a lot.
Morse code stories through.
Imagine not having to read stories anymore. You just feel them.
Wow. Man. Dedication. That's all I'm saying. Stay dedicated out there,
Hannah, wait, I missed something. Who had the butt vibrator? The guy, there was a chess tournament between Magnus Carlsen, the champion of the world, and this guy who was much worse. The guy who was much worse won, and the working theory is he had a butt vibrator to tell him the chess moves. It would be like, and that would be like D7. Anyway, respect. And so she knows 10 moves in advance, and I feel supported and secure in my decision to leave him and keep my baby. A few things I just wanted to clarify. My husband is not a lawyer. His good friend is. There was some concern for my success in court if my husband is a lawyer. His friend is an environmental lawyer, so while I'm sure he can provide some advice, he will not be my husband's divorce lawyer. There were suggestions of me terminating my pregnancy. I fully support the right to choose, and I would probably terminate the pregnancy if I was in a different financial position and lacked a support system. However, I work as a marketing manager for a large company. Not only does this allow the privilege of working from home about 50% of the time, but it also grants me financial independence. I do not rely on my husband for money, and I really never have. He works, I'm just thinking of a stream where Riley controls our butt plugs.
That is, bro, what's the dono goal for that?
Put it on the wheel. Put it on the wheel.
Man, dude, that's, bro.
I mean, I got
that's a
dog
high
collars.
price. That, dude, that's crazy.
$125.
That's $126.
We
Dude.
just bid it out.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh.
Ooh. I know where they sit every day.
I do not rely on my husband for money, and I never really have. He works in tech, so while he makes a good salary, I will not need him for spousal support. I have a phenomenal support system. This baby will be loved so dearly by so many. Yes, I will have to deal with my husband for the rest of my life if I have this child. It'll make future relationships more difficult, but it is worth it. I've wanted this baby since day one, and I am her mother, which means that I am strong enough to raise her alone because I have to be strong enough. Here's to hoping for a speedy divorce. I'm ready to be done with this marriage, which is crazy because just a few days ago, I thought my life was as close to perfect as you can get. And there is an update.
Oh man, dude.
There is an update.
This is the gift that just keeps on giving.
There is an update, which I imagine we're going to get some interesting information from divorce court.
Could be divorce, could be the spicy diseases.
Oh, yeah.
A
Well,
lot
I think
of
she
stuff.
doesn't have one, right?
So far.
So, yeah, so far.
Yeah, we don't know.
There it is.
What are you seeing?
What
are you seeing?
All right. What I spy with my little eye.
Yep.
What can you see my? Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. What,
Cute look.
what I
Oh man, dude.
what I spy with my little eye is I think the divorce is going to go smoothly for her, but maybe he pulls out like a really good lawyer.
Pulls out. You should have done that before. You should have never entered.
Thank God. But update. I know it's been only a short time since I posted this update, but I need to tell you all how amazing you are. Wow, the support, great. I wish I could reply to all the comments and messages, but because of the volume, I'm just going to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. To each and every one of you who read my posts, who commented, thought of me, wished my baby and me the best, messaged me, and anything else. I'm currently at my parents' condo, sitting outside of their pool, sunbathing my little baby bump, and reading each and every one of your amazing and empowering comments. I just want you all to have the image that you have made me happy and content in a time when I am short on both. This is proof that love exists, even if it doesn't within my now over relationship, and that love is a powerful thing. Love to you all. By the way, we love you all so much and are telling you right now that you should listen to our podcast, OK Storytime, wherever you listen to podcasts. It could be Spotify, it could be Apple Podcasts, it could be one of the weird ones. I listen to my podcast on Audible.
Yeah,
that's not a sponsor, but
Gobblegook,
Gobbable.
There it is.
But you can listen while you're doing other stuff. So freaking do it. But yeah, there's another relevant update. Should I just freaking
Let's dive right in. I'm curious.
All right. I will leave you with this, dear readers. My dad and I were up late talking last night, and as usual, he had the perfect thing to say to me. He told me that weak people are afraid of strong people. He told me to keep on terrifying the weak ones. That way, the only people who won't fear you are the bravest, strongest of people, and those are people who are worthy of you. He said, my husband is a spineless turd who wouldn't punt it with the strongest woman in the world. Just thought I'd leave you with that and encourage everyone to be terrifying by being strong and not standing for nonsense.
Go.
This is the last I will post on the matter. I have a lot ahead of me with everything and will probably go quiet on Reddit for a while. Time to get ready for court and be terrifying. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. Love to all of you. And there are some comments with some legal advice. Well, this is not legal advice.
Oh.
I am a divorce attorney, though. Here are my thoughts. You need to find yourself an awesome therapist ASAP. When you pop that baby out, it's going to be so hard to co-parent. Look into reconstituting your estate. Unfortunately, nowadays, cheating is common occurrence in family court. The best way to combat it is recouping all the money he may have spent on that chick. Ask for an entire Facebook download in Discovery. It will show all his messages he has ever sent to anyone. Use it as leverage. Most cheaters don't like to go to court to air out their laundry. This gives you a stepping stool. And another comment says, really, the only thing I'm willing to fight him tooth and nail for is our home. You should also do custody for your baby. I'm sure your uncle is on top of this, but it's worth mentioning since your post is operating on the assumption you'll be a custodial parent, which is not guaranteed. And OP replies, what the husband did was wrong, but there's no reason to keep him away from his child unless he is unfit. 50-50 should be the default. He endangered the life of his child when he effed his mistress without protection. This is a reply. And another reply, as well it shouldn't be, except in cases where one parent is unfit. Both parents should be equal custody. Infidelity has no bearing on someone's ability to parent. What do you guys think about that last one? Does infidelity have any bearing on someone's ability to parent?
Disagree. Hard disagree. I feel like it's such a leading indicator of like, if those are your morals that you live by, A, what example are you setting for your kid? And then B, like your other thoughts and other things. And I just, no, I don't.
Yeah, if you can't commit to that marriage and be truthful with your partner, how are you going to be able to do the same for your child?
Especially when he reacts and did what he did. Like, he's clearly not trying to learn or have growth or any sort of remorse. He's just like, well, I have to do
But
anything.
legally, I think it's like one thing to be like, yes, that's an indicator that he's probably going to be a worse dad than someone who could be faithful. But does that fully mean he should have no access to his children?
I'm not saying no access. I do disagree with like, don't fully take away, but I do think that like 51% plus can go to mom because she's proven that she is a more fit parent.
But yeah, let us know what you think. We'd love to know. But that's where that story ends. But we got more stories for you. We got a whole host of them just for you, right for your ear holes, because we love you. And we'll see you right now.
We got it, baby. Let's go. Am I the a-hole for having photos of my wife that she sent me during the dating phase?
That's a good question.
Well, this also is to answer the question, how should you handle disagreements when married? So this comes from TA Wife Picks 123 who says, my wife and I, early 40s, have been together for more than 15 years, married for 12 years. We met online because of shared interests. We live in different cities and we used to message each other and talk on the phone. Things became flirty when we would send a lot of spicy selfies almost daily to each other. It was just our love language and we had not even met in person at this point. It was clear to us that we were meant to be together and she moved to my city after a year. We dated, we got engaged after a year and married after that. It was the best decision and we are both happily married with 3 kids. That is a lot of spicy exchanges over there.
Ooh.
Daily. Every single day.
Yeah.
Getting that snap score.
I was gonna say.
Crushed. I had an external hard drive where I save all of my old movies, photos, documents, etc.
That is a good question. I'm curious about your thoughts on this because I think when you break up with someone, I think it is respectful to delete those pictures.
Oh yeah, get them all
get
out.
Get rid of those. But
yes.
if you never broke up with them,
if you're married for 15 years with 3 kids and everything is looking great,
do you delete those pictures?
And also I don't know if this is playing devil's advocate or what, but is it almost better for him to intentionally put it on a like hidden away hard drive versus like keeping it on his phone or something like that in case like who knows, one of the kids goes through it or gets stolen or you know what I mean? Like it feels like more.
It feels like he's doing the I don't know.
It feels like you may be doing it. Apparently there's a hard drive.
There's a hard drive with some sexy pictures on it.
That's one thing we do not need apparently kid reporting on. So
apparently I've never seen spicy pictures before.
Pictures before. But it's quite quite thrilling. Yikes. So I was backing up said hard drive on Sunday, and I thought it would be fun to show my wife all the photos she sent me during our dating phase. My wife saw those pictures and asked me, why'd you save them?
Uh-oh. Yeah-oh.
Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it, punk, huh? You got an answer? You're just going to sit there looking stupid? Husband.
Sit there looking pretty.
Looking like a doofus with a big old hard drive full of my things. I told her that it's just a memory and I sometimes go through them and remember our dating phase. My wife asked me if I find her in those photos, and I said yes. She was a bit upset by my answer. Is there an ICU?
I understand.
Chat?
I understand.
Guys, put an ICU in the chat right now if you see one. We moved on from the topic, but I could see from her mood that it was a bit off during the day. And at night, I asked her if it bothered her that I saved those pictures of her without her permission. She said no, and those were meant for me, and it's flattering that I saved them and find them hot. She asked me if I liked how she looked in the pictures or how she looks now. There it is. There it is. My wife used to be quite small and petite when we were dating. However, she has given birth to 3 kids and of course does not look the same anymore. She has also gained 20 pounds during the pandemic, not bad at all, which bothers her too. I tried to be politically correct and told her that the 25-year-old me liked the girl in the picture, but the 40-year-old me likes her as she is now. How do we feel? How do we feel about that answer, Sophia? It seems like he's like trying to be honest and not hurtful at the same time.
I honestly think right now no one's the a-hole. I think she's feeling a little insecure.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's done anything wrong, and I think he's trying to make her not insecure. And maybe this is not exactly the best way for her to hear it, but I don't think anyone's done anything wrong. Unfortunately, sometimes we have insecurities and we can't always control how other people.
It's true. And I feel like this is, I mean, he said, yeah, Brittany John says stop it.
I don't think he said anything
correct.
wrong.
Yeah, he could have, maybe he could have said, I love both.
Yeah, maybe that would have been better. I love both versions of you.
Yeah. Which kind of, to me, is like what he's saying.
Yeah.
I think.
But I think because she's already feeling insecure, it might not be received that way.
Yes. I think so. But we carry on. So she told me that seeing those pictures made her feel very insecure and jealous. And she does not like the fact that I still look at those pictures. I find it hilarious that she is jealous of her past self. Ooh. She asked me that since I have her for the rest of my life, would it be okay to stop looking at those pictures now and delete them? I feel those are amazing memories from our early dating days and I want to keep them. However, she feels that the girl in those pictures looks so much different from her now. She feels insecure about her body and me looking at those pictures makes her feel bad. I'm in a dilemma. I want to respect her request, but I also do not want to lose the memories from one of the best times in my life. Would I be an a-hole if I did not delete these pictures of her? Is her insecurity about herself valid in this case? And if any other married women have gone through a similar situation? I am curious to that point. If we have any callers that could help illustrate on this matter that have maybe been in a similar situation where a significant other, maybe you're married, maybe you're in a long-term relationship, whatever, but message Riley on Discord and we will chat with you after the show to get your take if you have a similar story. And Sophia will be responding to you. Be O'Reilly. So,
well, are we waiting? Is the
we'll
call
wait
at
till the end.
Okay.
We'll wait till the end of the story.
Well,
yeah. We'll line
right
them up.
now.
Talk to me right now. Tell me.
I think if someone asks you to delete pictures of themselves, especially intimate pictures, I think you should. However, I think in this case, they should also have a conversation about her feelings.
Yes, I think you are 100% right. Like basically, like, hey, like anytime you ask me anything of that, the answer should always be yes. In addition to that, I would love to like sit down and like have a open and honest conversation
of like why you're feeling those feelings. If there's anything I can do to kind of make you feel less insecure, because I love the way you look. I think you are beautiful. Yada yada.
I think is exactly what you say. I think that's exactly what you say because like it's kind of like how can I help? You know, it's not like going in and because some people could go in and presume like, oh, do you like want help losing weight? Do you want like come in with all of these presumptions about like what they think they want? But that frames it and is like, you tell me how to help you.
Yes.
Because I want you to get back to feeling that way.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
So, and also for some people asking, it is just the like intimate pictures of her, not all of the pictures of them together.
Yes. And then also I'm very curious for a quick poll. Is OP the a-hole?
Hi.
Is OP the a-hole? I'm very curious on what you all have to say on this matter. However, there is more.
Ooh.
to this story.
I think right now OP is only the a-hole if he pictures without her knowledge.
I agree with that. Let's get into some relevant comments. So, commenter, you did the right thing. But if you like the photos so much, it's hard for you to give them up. They're memories. Maybe it'll be downvoted, but if she's insecure about the comparison, maybe it's better to make an effort to improve the present rather than erase the past. OP response, I feel she looks beautiful and does not really need to improve. Ha!
I don't like that comment.
Yeah, right. I feel she eventually, honestly, it's like, I know this might be downvoted. It's kind of like, I don't mean to sound racist, but it's giving the same energy. Are you sweating?
No.
I am sweating.
We're always sweating.
I'm always sweating.
Unfortunately, all the windows are out. It's getting hot though in Santa Monica.
We will later. Let's open the door a little.
Sure.
Do that later. But for now, I feel she eventually realized how silly it is that she is insecure of herself. I just don't want to delete the pics now and then regret it later when she changes her mind. Does that mean he's changing his perspective? We'll see. Commenter downvoted nutso. Your wife is deeply insecure.
Oh my God. You guys are incredibly harsh.
Reddit!
I want like Reddit to just think about anytime someone's taken a picture of them and then they've looked at it and not liked how they looked in it.
You're telling me 100%, Mr. Commenter who said nutso, call the wife nutso. You're telling me 100% of the pictures, you're like, I love these. Put these on a wall in the MoMA.
You're so photogenic that not a single picture of you has ever been bad.
Yeah, freaking right.
You wanted to delete it.
You know what? You're ugly.
You're ugly
Right.
inside and out.
Yup. Mostly out.
Inside
and that's
out.
me
too
saying that.
Ugly. And it's you. Starring you.
But Opie responds, I would not call her desperately insecure. I can understand her feeling bad for me, lusting over her pictures from 15 years ago. She is absolutely beautiful even now, but maybe she feels bad that she is not the same person from 15 years ago when I have not changed much. Subtle flex, but okay. But we have an update from the next day, 24 hours later. I wrote a post yesterday about my wife wanting me to delete her spicy photos that she sent me during our dating period. I wanted to thank everyone for so many mature and nice suggestions. I know my life is not as scandalous as many people who post on this forum, but wanted to give an update on what happened. We put our kids to bed last night and I was sitting in the bedroom. My wife came to me and started cuddling. She asked me if I deleted the photos and I told her I have not. I have not deleted these photos. And I feel really attached to those memories of our early dating days and it reminds me how far we have come. I told her that I understand that we both do not look the same as we did 15 years ago, but my love and attraction to her has only grown. When we started dating, she was the hot girl online who I had so much in common with. But after 12 years of marriage, I still see her the same, but more. Now that hot girl is my family. And she made 3 gorgeous mini versions of me. 2 boys and 1 girl.
They all
Everyone's
look like
hot.
me.
Even the kids are hot. I also told her that I look at those photos because they reminded me of a time when our relationship was so new and how crazy we were. Is that fair?
What?
Just that the photos remind him, or do we believe him, I guess, that the photos remind him of this?
I don't think it's an issue for him to want to keep the photos. I think the only issue is if she says, again, if she's like, he comes to her with this plea and he's like, hey, I want to keep the photos. And she says, I want you to delete these intimate photos. That, in that case, if he keeps them after she says twice, I don't want you to keep these, then he's the a-hole. I've heard a lot of people say that, who are like, you know, in their like 50s and 60s and older, who say like, looking back on pictures of me as a young woman and looking back at like being confident in my body was really important, having those pictures. Or people on the other side who like wanted those.
Who are these people?
A lot of I don't know, I've had a lot of conversations with like older women who talk about like, oh, I wish I had like those types of pictures.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
honestly, that is I've never had the opportunity to chat with someone in that life stage.
Maybe you should take some pictures, John, and appreciate them.
Maybe I should stop being so ageist and get it together. But yeah, that's never even crossed my mind before. But yeah, wow, there we go. I believe who are these people? I believe OP when he says that. That was kind of the point that I was interested in. But I asked her if I did or say anything to make her feel bad about herself based on how she reacted. As many of you guessed, she said that it was not about what I did. She just remembered how she looked in those photos and felt bad about herself. She started saying things like, I have let myself go and I wish I could be more disciplined, etc., etc. I told her that I'm still very attracted to her and try to initiate whenever we are alone. She agreed and thanked me for getting snipped. Else, house, we would have a lot more kids running. Oh God. However, she told me that I used to stare at her every time that she would change in front of me or was in the shower. Now, I barely notice her, even if she was standing butt naked right in front of me. She said that it does make her feel insecure about her body when I do that.
Yeah.
I know she is right. Say again?
Oh, I was just going to say, I feel like that's more so because you've gotten used to each other after.
Yeah, I am guessing that OP's wife is making this more, the insecurity.
The insecurity is kind of feeding into.
Exactly. I definitely feel that's, at least to a small extent, what's happening here. I know she is right, but after 15 years together, you kind of get used to each other's bodies, so I feel normal for that to happen. To Sophia's point, I told her it would be hot and adventurous for her to send me some spicy photos now too. But she said there is no way she would feel comfortable taking pics like that now. Overall, I loved our conversation and I'm glad she talked about her insecurities to me. Finally, we started talking about the photos. She asked me if I pleasure myself looking at them, and I told them I have in the past, especially when the kids were small. Okay. She found that funny and cute. I don't know why that last detail was important, but
Maybe
okay.
he's like, I don't know, I had more time to myself and the kids.
Maybe. I think if anything, you have less time to yourself with like young children. I'm confused as to why that comment was included, but nonetheless. She said that I had the entire internet to find corn, and it's cute that I still looked at her pictures. I think that is cute. She said I should keep the photo.
Okay.
She asked me to create 2 folders for her pictures, safe for work and not safe for work. She said that I can keep the not safe for work folder hidden so the kids didn't find it. For the safe for work pics, she wants me to upload them to our iCloud as she wants to show those pics to our daughter.
The safe for work. The
safe for work, Sophia.
The safe for work.
That's safe for work. Get your mind out of the freaking
Get
gutter.
your mind safe for work.
Who's the boys now? Guys,
I've been Riley for too long.
No, so that's right. Sophia's been Riley for a whole week. And it's going south. But she said that she is glad that I didn't delete the photos. Thanks again for everyone who commented. A lot of comments were really cute. And I got a nice perspective of what my wife was thinking. And a top commenter says, and this, my friends, how adults handle issues in a marriage. Well done, OP.
Yeah, you know what? Georgette Cooper says, is this 2 for 2 wholesome stories? Yes, it is.
I think it is. I think it's 2 for 2 wholesome. Also, 2 for 2 good communication and mediation in a relationship. To answer the question, how should you handle issues and conflict in a marriage? Now, I got a big question for you, okay? And let's get a freaking poll up.
Get a freaking poll.
Was OP the a-hole for not deleting immediately? For not deleting, I guess you could say in the poll. A-hole for not deleting immediately, yes or no? Because like it's kind of tricky because he was very cognitive and receptive of what she said, but also didn't like acquiesce immediately, and it worked out in the end.
Yeah, I think I am hesitant to say that he is the a-hole for that because he didn't keep it a secret from her. She asked him a second time. She said, "Did you delete the pictures?" He said, "No. Here are my reasons. Can we talk about it a little more?" I think that you losing these pictures, you will regret it in the long run.
Also, additional context, the update was from literally the next day.
So this wasn't weeks. It was, we had a conversation last night, and honestly, I mean, he might not even have had time.
That's what I was about to say. Like, it could have even been just a purely logistical thing of like, we went to bed, I got ready for work. I just got, there's a lot of photos. But yeah, I think with all of that context, that OP was not the a-hole. And you mentioned something really important, which is when she asked, he told the complete truth, how he felt and the fact that he hadn't done it yet. And 87% of people are saying not the a-hole.
Which I think I agree with that.
In our chat, in our community. And you know what? I freaking agree. But you know what else I agree with?
What do you agree?
Is that we should get one of our very own on the case. Do we have a potential caller?
Take a little look-see-loo.
Let's take a gander. Meander.
There's two.
Do we have one that is, or are they both relationship conflict related to the story? I should say.
Groovy hippie chick.
Groovy hippie chick? Let's get Groovy hippie chick on the horn, like old people like me say. Let's do it. If you're able to scoot us also at Twitch.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. And let me know when.
Or on mute, Groovy hippie chick.
Groovy hippie chick. Can you hear us? We can't hear you yet. Hello.
Hello.
Please unmute. I want to talk to you. Groovy hippie chick.
Groovy hippie chick, are you there?
Where are you? Sophia's launch.
You?
She's about to eat the caller. Groovy hippie. I actually like the blown up view is actually a lot better. Good catch there. Groovy hippie chick.
You want to be bigger? Groovy hippie chick.
Groovy hippie chick. Okay. Let's
Groovy hippie chick. We
might have to ring you back later. But let's give a ring to the second person in the queue. Oh, quite right.
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 Right, Mouse. You're up.
Mouse, can you hear me?
Oh, wait. Okay, now you're up.
Mouse, can you hear me? Mouse, you're quiet as a mouse right now. Are you on mute? Can you hear us? Is your mic disconnected? Hello, hello, hello. Are you able to drag the Discord over too, or we could both see it, Sophia? So, Mouse, if you're, okay, here we go. Oh, wait. Oh, you know what? I think, is it the speaker, Sophia?
It might be our fault. I don't think.
Say something again, Mouse. I see your thing highlighting. It
Says
seems
the computer sound is good.
computer sound is good. Is it through? Do we know if it's routing through the speaker?
We're sorry, everyone. And Mouse, stay there.
Mouse, stay right where you are.
Mouse,
We cannot hear
don't
you at all.
move.
Also, I feel like this is probably the same thing happened to Kirby Hip Check.
Sorry, group.
Oh my gosh, so
We're gonna
sorry.
pause for a second. Sorry, Mouse. Well, just
You know what else I could do?
Yeah.
I could
Oh, can you?
Yeah, let me do this now and then we can try to figure out for the next caller. All right, Mouse, why don't you let me see if I can find you, Mouse. Let me see if I can find you. I think I found you. Mouse, we are going to hang up on this call.
But we're gonna call you back.
And I'm going to call you here. Let's try it out. Here we go. Can't tell. Here we go. Oh, Mouse, can you hear us? I kind of can. I am going to try to make it loud enough for the good people at home. Okay, say hello one more time.
Hello?
Here we go. That should do it.
Yes.
Success. Okay. Sorry about that. We did not mean to silence you. Your voice is so important. So I wanted to ask, do you have a relationship conflict story similar to these and a resolution by chance?
I actually have something similar. It wasn't necessarily, well, it kind of was a conflict, but it was similar to the last story we read with spicy pics.
Yeah.
So a while back, a couple years ago, I was working on the Texas border and we had communal showers, but they were like stalls. And someone put a camera in one of those showers and it was hidden.
Oh my
well,
goodness.
This is where my insecurities came in to this. My husband, like, I would send, because, we're married.
Right.
And so I became very insecure because I had taken a shower in some of those and I didn't know if they had gotten me on video.
Yeah, wait, is this your employer at a tech support thing?
No. I was on the Texas border mission and we had a little camp set up.
I see.
And we had showers.
Is that legal?
Where it was their showers. And it's kind of like military-ish.
I see. And it's like, okay, so and are the cameras pointing in the actual shower outside to like
well, no, so someone snuck in and planted cameras.
Somebody snuck in. Yes, okay, got. So this is 100% illegal because someone snuck into this.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Thank you. Got you. Reading comprehension 100%. Okay,
Sorry.
please continue. No, you're totally good.
Well, it came up to the point where like I got really scared, so I had asked my husband to delete those photos of me, and he was confused at first, and I felt really uncomfortable, but he actually ended up deleting them, and I was really grateful. But now that a few years have passed, I'm more comfortable with it again. But with the last story, I definitely think the husband did right by
Mouse, can you hear us? Oh no, we've lost another one.
I was trying to fix the
Mouse, it has gone silent. Mouse was sharing a very important story. You've gone silent on our end. I can't see your box highlighting with your voice anymore as well. It might have cut off in your end. Maybe my end too. I am not sure. Oh man, this is the members only exclusive where we see all the things that happen. Oh, here we go.
What happened?
There we go.
Disconnected me.
We're back. We're back.
Okay, where was I? I forgot.
Your husband. You asked your husband to delete that. Sorry, was this? And tell me if this is asking too much. Was this your husband, or how was he able to delete the photos?
I didn't actually know if I had gotten my personal photos, like taken or recorded while I was in the shower. But I had him delete the photos of me personally because they could have been out on the internet somewhere, and I was scared and.
Right, for them to get like
insecure.
matched or anything like that. Or,
yeah,
just in general. Yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah, you wanted them deleted. Got you. Okay.
Yeah, he actually did. He did. We had to discuss it and everything like that, but it was still very scary.
Oh, I can only imagine. Did they? And so, did you feel like that was like you asked your husband, he did it, that was kind of the end of it? Did it feel like a good resolution for you, just as far as you and your husband communicating?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a lot of discussion about it. He didn't want to at at first. I feel like mainly because of the same reasons as, you know,
as
person
OP?
in the story. But, and we're both military, so we don't get to see each other that often. So like having those might help him out whenever we can't talk to each other.
Got you. And so in closing, I'm curious to ask your opinion. Do you think that OP, because you were kind of more in the wife's position in the story, very similar story. And thank you for sharing again. Do you think that OP's husband did handle it well, all things considered, or?
I think he handled it very well.
Okay.
I know that he didn't delete them right away, which was my main stance at the very beginning. But as he went on, like you can notice his thoughts of wanting to talk to his wife about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that's why that was his main, I think that was his main reason for not, you know, deleting them automatically. And then whenever she said it was okay, he was able to keep them. He was able to, but if she said no, I have a feeling he would have deleted them anyways because he respects his wife that much.
Yeah. Great perspective. And from someone who's literally been in the wife's shoes. My goodness. Well, Mouse, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story today. And we made it happen. The world didn't want to hear your story, but gosh darn it, we made it happen. So thank you.
Of course.
Awesome. Have a good one, Mouse. Bye.
Bye.
Cool. So, wow. It's so crazy.
Yeah, everyone's
how,
always
like,
got a story that relates.
It's literally like basically, you know, different circumstances, but the same thing ultimately. And yeah, that if anything affirms to me more that OP is not the evil. Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what time are we at, Sophia?
We're at 11:12. I'm sorry, 1:12. My ex's ex-wife tried to befriend me, but I want nothing to do with her.
So complicated of a love triangle.
Yeah. I, 36 female, dated my ex-boyfriend, Dwayne, 37 male, for a year and a half. He has a daughter, Millie, 11, from a previous marriage. Dwayne and I met in elementary school, and we were childhood friends who grew up in the same town. While we grew apart, we bumped into each other all the time in town and had a lot of mutual friends. By the way, this comes from Dingoes Ate My Ammo, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to OK Storytime subreddit. At the beginning of our relationship, Dwayne did not have visitation rights to his daughter due to a custody battle going on with his ex at the time. This was a red flag for me, but I knew it was a contentious divorce and they were in and out of court frequently for years over custody, so I noted the red flag, but the custody battle was not unusual. When he got approved for supervised visits, Dwayne invited me to attend. I felt a little awkward about it at first. I didn't want to intrude on Dwayne's limited time with his daughter or make things more complicated for her. When Dwayne explained he'd be more comfortable with another adult present, I agreed to accompany him on the visits. The first few visits were awkward. Having a social worker present, of course, took getting used to. Dwayne and Millie both enjoy being outdoors, so when the weather was nice, we'd all hang out in the yard while Millie played with the neighborhood kids. One of her friends, Leanne, always stared daggers at me, and eventually Millie told the supervisor, Lisa, that she didn't know how to explain my presence to her friends. I offered to stop coming if it made her uncomfortable, but Millie quickly said it wasn't me, it was her friends and their questions. It was decided she'd introduce me to her friends as a friend of her dad's. Once she did this and they started including me in their games, we all had a great time.
All right.
Nice. This became routine, and Millie and I got along really well. Her friends also asked me to play games with them. The trouble started when Dwayne's ex-wife, Amber, started talking to me at drop-offs and pickups. Dwayne and Amber don't speak directly to each other outside the presence of lawyers or through a co-parenting app. So Amber would give Dwayne a rundown of what he needed to know at drop-off. She has a cold, so she's taking the medicine, needs a dose in 2 hours. She has this thing to go to at 1, and here's the stuff she needs for it, etc. Dwayne would ignore her and act like she wasn't speaking and ask me later what Amber had said because he wasn't listening. Red flag number 2. That's a blazing red flag. He's not listening to stuff about his daughter? As a result, when Amber gave us the rundown at switch-offs, I would ask questions and jot things down. So eventually, these conversations happened between Amber and me while Dwayne sulked beside me. Millie was involved in sports, and some of the games fell during Dwayne's parenting time. He was excited about this because he's very athletic and genuinely had fun preparing for the games, talking to the other parents, and cheering on the team. Amber and Dwayne both attended all the games. The two parents would compete with one another, each trying to out-cheer the other. Dwayne would try to win over the parents sitting with his ex. If Millie needed a water break, she struggled with which parent to sit with. I was always kind to Amber. I'd say hi to her when I saw her. If it was Amber's parenting time and Millie needed a water break, I'd wave her toward her mom and calm down her dad. If it was Dwayne's parenting time, I'd wave her over to Dwayne and give Amber a respectful nod. So OP's just the mediator here.
Goodness gracious.
That's frustrating. That's so frustrating. If the other parents commented on Dwayne and Amber's competitive cheering, I'd say something like, isn't it great she has two parents who want to cheer her on so passionately? When I saw a friend of mine sitting with Amber during one of the games, I went over and said hi. She was there watching her niece play. I said I was dating Dwayne and we were watching Millie alongside Amber. Amber pointedly ignored me, but I continued to talk to our mutual friend and attempted to respectfully include Amber in the conversation. Amber's icy demeanor visibly warmed. Eventually, Amber and I became amicable. She'd smile and return my greetings. I'd walk over and chat with her during games. Nothing substantial, just, hi, how are you? And, wow, the sun's hot today, huh? Enough to acknowledge her presence in a civil manner. It went a long way. If Millie wanted to run to her dad instead of her mom after she scored a goal, Amber didn't make a fuss about it. The same could not be said for Dwayne, who got mad at me for being friendly with his ex. She's the only one who's trying to keep your parenting intact here. I was just trying to make things easier for Millie, but he took it as some kind of slight. He insisted I should be on his side, not become best friends with his ex-wife. It's literally, when it comes to children, no sides.
No sides.
No sides. It's what's best for the kid.
Exactly.
I told him I wasn't best friends with his ex-wife by any means, but if it made things easier for Millie, I was willing to be cordial with her mom. Shortly after, Dwayne got his regular visitation back. His parenting style changed dramatically. He stopped buying food for Millie, so when she came to her dad's, it was a scramble to make her something. He stopped playing with her, telling her to run outside with her friends while he sat with his neighbor and chatted. As the cold weather came in, it became apparent that Dwayne didn't have any toys or other means of entertainment for Millie. There were some coloring books and crayons given to her by her grandparents. Other than that, Millie's entertainment consisted of watching YouTube with her dad and playing games of hide and seek with us. We started taking Millie to my house, where I kept a supply of blue box mac and cheese and microwave chicken nuggets, as well as markers, colored pencils, sketch pads, and coloring books for when my cousin's kids visit. It got to the point where I was buying groceries for Millie, making sure she ate, playing with her, and keeping her entertained while Dwayne shot the crap with his friend or took a nap. He seemed entirely disinterested at best. Blazing red. I would have a conversation with him and say, like, either you need to freaking pay me back for these groceries or take care of your daughter. This is your daughter. She is not my responsibility. When we took Millie to the beach so she could hang out with her friends, Dwayne's behavior reached a tipping point. He didn't pack any food or water for Millie, saying, I thought you would take care of that. He grilled Millie about her mother until she cried, and when I told him to back off, he barked at me not to tell him how to talk to his daughter. He yelled at Millie in front of her friends. The icing on the cake was when he made inappropriate comments about one of the children present. Disgusting. I was disgusted, and our breakup started that night. We had an event for Millie to go to the following week, so I attended for her sake. We broke up officially later in the week. Over that time, I discovered Dwayne had cheated on me with at least 2 women. He came by to pick up his stuff from my house and tried to reconcile, but I was not persuaded. I blocked him everywhere and went no contact. I ran into Amber the day of the breakup, and I explained that Dwayne and I were broken up. Amber was surprisingly warm and sympathetic. She was actually disappointed, saying, you would have been the perfect stepmother for my daughter. I was honestly more heartbroken to lose Millie than to lose my ex. I had some things for Millie and asked Amber if I could drop them off to her. I didn't want to go anywhere near my ex's house. When I stopped by, Amber invited me to sit down on the porch and talk to me about her time with Dwayne and why they broke up, as well as the purpose of the custody dispute, his alleged inappropriate behavior towards children. To this day, I don't know if the allegations are true, but since Dwayne made inappropriate comments about a child to me, I was genuinely concerned. Amber friended me on social media and we kept in touch. However, it soon became clear all we had in common was Millie and Dwayne. She would call me after a switch off to complain about Dwayne, tell me about his latest girlfriend, etc. I told her I'd rather not hear about Dwayne because it was painful for me. However, she continued to vent to me about Dwayne as well as other things in her life. She also seemed a little unstable and often hinted about money problems. At one point, she asked if she could use my streaming account so Millie could watch a few particular Christmas movies. I felt like she was using me and she wasn't being respectful of my boundaries. I've slowly limited my contact with Amber and eventually stopped replying to her messages. It's been over 2 years since Dwayne and I broke up. I feel extremely guilty about this because cutting off Amber also means cutting off Millie. I'm not no contact, but low contact. I feel like Amber really wants to be my friend, but it's hard for me to embrace a friendship with someone who does not respect my boundaries. Am I the a-hole for going low contact with my ex's daughter and her mother? And by the way, you shouldn't go no contact with us because you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but do you have any final thoughts? What would OP be the a-hole?
No, not at all.
That's not your kid, not your relationship. You would not be the a-hole. It's going to be sad. And Millie probably is going to be sad about, losing you.
I think once
your kid.
Millie gets old enough, you can send her a graduation gift and be like, hey, you were always awesome. I hate that we didn't work out.
I think that's appropriate, but you don't have to. I mean, it sucks, but I think the best thing is just to be like, okay, I'm not going to see you guys anymore. But there is a little bit left to the story. Edit to those saying I didn't do enough, should have reported him, etc. Dwayne and Amber were both investigated by social services. I had no proof to report anything. As soon as he made creepy comments about a kid, I gave that info to Amber's mother to use in their court case. But it was the word of his now ex with no proof. I'm not sure how I could have done anything more where social services was already investigating and probably continues to. Thanks for kicking me while I'm already feeling like an a-hole though. Yeah, I mean, what is OP supposed to do?
Yeah, she did what she
gave
did.
That information.
She did what she thought was the best.
But that is the end of that story, so we're going to get into the next one.
I refused to rekindle a relationship with my ex-wife because she had an affair.
There's a reason she's your ex.
I know what you're going to say. It's fake and that you saw this in a Hallmark Christmas movie, and I'm right there with you. Honestly, I wouldn't believe it either if it didn't happen to me. So, if you can't believe it, then just pretend and give me advice anyways, like I'm a real person. Because I am.
You are a real person, OP.
By the way, this comes from amazing a-hole on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So I, 32 male, met Sarah, 30 female, that's where you went wrong, in grade school in our small town. She was my first everything, girlfriend, love, and eventually wife. We both went to college together, and after I graduated, we got married when I was 23, she was 21. Sarah was still finishing her degree, and I worked hard to support both of us while she completed her studies. When she got her first job, I was so proud of her. It felt like all her sacrifices and hard work were paying off, and I thought we were on our way to building a life together. For 2 years, everything seemed fine. Or at least I thought so.
Dun dun.
Then one day, I come home from work and found her packing a bag. She sat down and told me she had been having an affair with a coworker. I was completely oblivious. She was crying and apologetic. She just loved me, but that she was in love with the coworker and they had this chemistry and a deep connection that she never felt this level of excitement and attachment with me.
I'm happy for her to find that reasoning during your relationship.
At the same time, she seemed to be really apologetic and acted very guilty. She moved in with the coworker that night.
Oh, wow. She felt guilty, Riley. She felt guilty that she was cheating on her husband, her first love, her first everything.
That's so funny. Sarah made the divorce quick and as easy as possible. She didn't contest anything and took almost nothing. In the state we live in, you can get a divorce in 10 days if there aren't any children involved. We filed the papers ourselves. No lawyer couldn't afford one. After it was final, she asked if we could be friends. And I am ashamed to say that I just broke down and sobbed like a baby in front of her, said nothing, and left. At that point, she was 23 and I was 25. A couple years later, in early 2020, while riding out COVID in my hometown, my mom casually mentioned that Sarah had married the guy she left me for. Apparently, Sarah's parents and mine had talked about it since they were longtime friends, and Sarah's parents were hesitant about the marriage but supported her. Hearing that stung. I had done everything I could to move on, but knowing she had married her affair partner felt like reopening the wound. I told my mom as kindly as I could that I didn't want to hear about Sarah anymore. She understood and never brought it up again.
That's good.
Dude, you know how many guys I met at church near here that have been divorced and they're under like 23? 3.
That's still a lot. Well, divorce rates are going even more up.
Yeah, I want to change that.
Me too.
I was broken and depressed at first, but I went to see a therapist and got some meds. I got some certifications, and through a friend from college, I got an interview with a global consulting company. My friend was married and couldn't do the amount of travel that job required, so he pushed hard for me to get the position.
Good friend.
I started traveling around the world and pretty much worked all the time at first. On any given day, I was either in the gym, working, or having a virtual therapy session at 3 a.m. I was a dull boy. I got into incredible shape thanks to lifting and running. Eventually, got a long-term project in Romania and was able to meet and have relationships with women.
Nice. Okay. I feel like this is the distraction OP needed.
After every bad breakup, I hit the gym so hard. I lost 25 pounds.
There you go. Good for OP on all of this. Like, this is the distraction that they definitely needed.
Oh, heck yes, dude. Fast forward a few years. Recently, I had a few weeks of vacations saved up, and I wanted to spend Christmas in Iceland. I went to my parents' place in my hometown for Thanksgiving with my sister and brother. Last Thursday, I was at the local independent drugstore in what passed for downtown in my hometown. It was a lunch counter like an old-fashioned drugstore. I got a cup of coffee and sat down at the counter drinking it when Sarah sat down beside of me and said hello.
No.
She was super nervous and red in the face. I was shocked and just sat there looking at her. I was exploding inside, but I kept my cool outwardly. She was still beautiful. She was very fit herself and had lost her baby face and became maybe even more beautiful. She started off by apologizing for the way she ended our marriage. I told her she already apologized like 100 times when she dumped me. But she insisted that she was young and stupid, and over time she realized how much she had hurt me. Dude, she's trying to come back to the honey.
Yeah. Is she like, oh, he worked out. He looks good. He's traveling. He's enjoying life without me? No, he can't do that.
Oh, yeah, because the parents are talking. He said, stop talking about Sarah to me, but Sarah didn't say, stop talking about OP.
Okay. Oh, good. Look at us. And I'm not taking her back. The way OP's writing about it, he wants her back.
Well, this is the first time he's seen her since the divorce.
I think you've done it. I've done it. Like, oh, what happens if you saw your ex? And like, what would you say? Like, I would say this, I would say that. And then when it happens, you're like,
She wanted to meet me later in a less crowded spot with fewer spies. Small town, remember? I shook my head no and told her, frankly, that I didn't see what I could possibly get out of meeting with her again.
Nice.
That kind of took the wind out of her sails. And she kind of deflated. She admitted that it was probably more for her than for me. She said that I'd get closure not only for how she ended things, but for the kind of person she was back then. She wanted to tell me about how she changed and what she'd learned about herself and what real love is. She wanted me to see that the person she'd become is someone that I could respect and maybe be friends with again.
Nope.
I wanted to get the heck out of there. So I just told her I'd think about it. She gave me her number and went home. Apparently, my mother and sister had already heard about it from Sarah's mom. So I am a big dumb victim of some kind of big dumb Hallmark Christmas movie hit job. My sister, 29 female, and mom, 55 female, told me that they kept up with Sarah since our divorce, and they know that she's changed and that I should hear her out. My dad, 56 male, just shook his head and walked off. My brother, 22 male, thought all of this was hilarious. I asked if he wanted to chime in, and he just shrugged his shoulders and said that since Sarah and I knew each other from when we were kids, I should at least hear her out just to keep the peace between our families since we live in a small town.
If I were OP, I don't owe her a damn thing. I don't care about people's peace. I don't care about her peace. You have no idea what trauma OP's gone through.
Yeah, dude, she cheated on him. No one's like hearing that part.
Yeah, why is everyone like kind of like, oh, let's hear her out? Like, she deserves it. You guys have been like lifelong friends. You guys should hear it out. I'm like, no, she burnt that bridge long ago when she moved in with the person she was having an affair with that night. That too. She had an affair on you, and she was like, sorry, it's not you, it's me. And now she's giving you the piece of day that, oh, I've grown as a person. I was young and naive. I want you back in my life.
Gosh, dude, heck no. Personally, I do think that her family would feel insulted if I didn't at least talk with her. I know for a fact that she's living with her parents now, so it seemed like her life completely crapped the bed. I kind of like to get the gory details as maybe a form of schadenfreude, but it's all behind me now, and I think it would all just make me sad. I guess I'm a better man now that I'm more mature, more wealthy, and fitter than I was when I was with her. But I'm still the same guy that she didn't have chemistry or connection with back in the day. So I think whatever comes out of her mouth would be bullcrap. I think she's probably a dragon cosplaying as a princess and wants me to be her white knight. My mom and sister are pushing hard for me to meet her. And my mom says that she's afraid if I didn't at least hear Sarah out, that Sarah's mom will resent her and make her social life more complicated. Let me make it clear that I have no intention of getting back with Sarah. Sarah's beautiful, but so are the women of Romania, Iceland, and elsewhere. And they have the added bonus of not breaking my heart. I'm interested in going just to hear about what happened to her after she dumped me to smooth things over for my folks. What do you think, Reddit? Should I go? I kind of want to. Talk me down off the ledge. Would I be the a-hole if I ghosted my ex-wife and we got a freaking day? Are we going or not?
She doesn't deserve you, OP. That's the thing. I do believe in hearing people out. She wants to give you the closure that you so-called deserve. You don't deserve it. You already had your closure. You already moved on. But I would hear her out. I like giving people second chances. If it's like, okay, you changed. I'll hear you. Good for you. And that's it. We go our separate ways.
Yeah, it definitely will close that chapter of your life.
Completely. Yeah. I think that you get the closure that that person wants to give you. I'm not saying she deserves it, but you get that closure. She gets that closure. Finne, it's done.
I think I got closure from my ex whenever I moved out of my hometown.
Yeah, you got distance. You're not getting reminded of her. You're like, now I can move on. That's what OP did. Like, I don't want to hear about it from my family. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about her. I'm going to go travel the world. And at the first, maybe a couple of months, he's like, oh, I'm sad. And he's like, why am I sad? I'm traveling the world, enjoying life. I should enjoy it to the fullest.
Yeah, this probably will help OP out in some ways. Therapy session, talk to her.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to bring up some like internal trauma, but I think that's going to be the best for just like the full closure.
We got an update, folks. Hi, I'm apparently known as the Hallmark Christmas movie guy. I'm currently writing this from Iceland. I have some friends I met while doing some consulting work here. This time of year, the days are very short and the northern lights are visible. Unfortunately, it's supposed to be cloudy and rainy for this foreseeable future here, so I'm out of luck with the Aurora Borealis. We're doing a Christmas pub crawl, among other things. Reykjavik is very single-friendly during the holidays. After I posted for the next couple of days, my mom and sister kept bugging me about it until I caved. I know, I made it clear to them that I had no intention of getting back with Sarah and that I was pissed that they thought there was a chance I'd get back together with someone who stabbed their son and brother in the heart. Finally, I told Sarah I'd meet her at the playground at our old school. It's a small town, so there's only one school that's K through 12. When we met, I told her up front that I'm just there as a favor to our parents and my sister. She acknowledged that, and we engaged in a little small talk. She told me that she had started following me on social media. I've since made it friends and family only. And she saw how I've been all over the world and even commented on the girlfriend I had in Romania. I told her the name was Monica and we had a great time together. Then she started in with the juicy stuff I wanted to hear. Unfortunately, it wasn't very juicy, just regular boring relationship crap. She started living with the guy and it quickly became apparent that once she was with him, the relationship went from exciting affair to regular humdrum relationship.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen that one coming. Like, that happens every time. Oh, the affair is so spicy. I'm cheating. I can't do this. Oh. And then you get caught, and you're like, now it's boring. Now it's just a standard relationship.
She might have a type for married men now.
She's just
She said she knew the forbidden sparks were gone the first time she had to pick up and launder the guy's skid mark underwear. Yep, she left me for a guy who was barely toilet trained. She said that she was in denial that she couldn't have thrown me away for a guy who was no good, so she doubled down by marrying him. Sarah was always very stubborn. He was apparently a good salesman and earned a lot in commissions, but he was really bad with money. They had a lot of fights about money and household chores, and finally she caught him cheating with a coworker. Oh, the irony.
Wow, what goes around comes around.
She left him with a wrecked credit score. She was pregnant with his kid at the time, so she terminated it, trying to avoid the filter. This was something no one in our families know about. She's been living with her parents and working at the same feed store her dad works at. She said she wanted to reconnect with me due to the fact that we were childhood friends and had been each other's best friends for 17 years, and she missed me. She started on about how much therapy she's been through, and she is a completely different person now. She wants to know how much she cares about me, and that girl I was best friends with is still there, blah, 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 blah. I can't even write this manipulative crap anymore. I guess I'm not a nice guy anymore. I didn't want to start any kind of beef with her family and mine, so I just told her that I also changed since she dumped me. I told her that when I touch something and get burned, I don't touch it anymore. I told her that it's great. She worked on herself, but some new guy idiot will have to benefit from that. When I look at her, all I see is her crying, telling me she's leaving me holding a proverbial knife with my blood all over it. In my mind, she's a person who says, honey, I love you, but I also love stabbing. No, thank you, ma'am. I told her that if we got together, the resentment would make me treat her like crap all the time and that she didn't want or deserve that. I told her good luck in her future endeavors and I hope she keeps up with her changes and that I had to leave to go to Iceland for Christmas. Yes, I was bragging. She was tearing up and trying not to let me see her cry, and I pretended to not notice. By the way, you can notice us and all the similar stories like this on our podcast platforms. Join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And Keon, how you feeling about this? Do you think she wrote this out, scripted it, and memorized her thoughts and
she recited it in the shower as well, and that's what she wanted to say, and she got it out. But guess what? OP is doing the right thing of hearing her out, hearing her sob story, and like you kind of brought this upon yourself. And he's gonna go to Iceland and go enjoy Christmas pub crawl, and this is great for OP. He's not rubbing it in too much to like hurt her, but he's like, I have my life, and honestly, because of you dumping me, I wouldn't be enjoying my life now. And look how that's changed. You left me for this guy who literally isn't great. He can't even wipe his own ass.
That's crazy. Yeah, OP made it work out.
It's going to make OP feel so much better about himself. It's sorry for the girl. I mean, you brought this upon yourself, but guess what? Sucks for you, Sarah. You brought this upon yourself. You left a great man and you made him even greater.
Sarahs of the world, stop ruining men's lives.
Stop ruining lives.
Back to the story. My dad was disappointed. I caved to my mom and sister. He made it feel like I failed the test of manhood. I told my mom and sister not to expect any wedding bells or grandchildren/nephews anytime soon. My brother called me a simp, so I had to wrestle him. He got me in a headlock. The guy's getting too big, and I held back too much. I left for Iceland the next day, and I'm there until the new year. I'm headed to Budapest for a following up project. Sarah is not invited.
This was great.
Good job, OP.
No matter how you perceive it, like if Sarah was the one that got cheated on and OP was, it's just one of those like sweet stories of like, you got cheated on, they left you for someone they thought was better.
And you did the best revenge by working on yourself.
You worked on yourself, you did therapy, you worked out, you traveled the world, and you met cool people, and they come back into your life, crawling back into your life, asking you, oh, like I messed up, you were the one. And you're just like, okay, well I was the one, you're not my one anymore. I love this story.
Me too. Also, I hate that you had to go through Sarah OP for you to find your best life, but
sometimes you got to go through those obstacles, you know, to get to the low, to enjoy the high.
My husband insists I need to go on a diet. I refuse. Uh-oh. My partner, 41 male, and I, 43 female, mostly a stay-at-home mom, have been struggling in the last while. Really, I'd say my kids, 4 male and 11-month-old baby female, and the pandemic have stressed our relationship, plus 2 big moves. It's all just been so hard to make time for each other, and we are just in survival mode.
Probably because you don't have enough protein.
Get more protein.
I feel like I need to have more protein now that I'm a climber.
Just add some protein. Then I usually add 1/2 a protein.
See? Maybe Riley can. Yep, there we go.
I'm
Yikes,
scared.
God. I've been trying to break out of our roommate's setup by bringing our baby girl into our bed when she wakes up for the first time, as I've fallen into co-sleeping with her in her room because she wakes up a lot more if not. I'm trying to break out of our roommate setup.
I've been trying to break out of our roommate setup because
like, do they have
bringing our
roommates?
baby girl into our bed.
Like the kid is like a roommate, or she has a little roommate?
Probably the roommate setup is like the kid is like a roommate.
Right, where the kid
so
doesn't
she's like,
sleep
Some just want to have the baby in the bed.
We will see, but this comes from Sweaty Turnup 2815 on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So last night we watched a show and we were chatting, and I brought out a bowl and 2 forks for the piece of pie that I had warmed up. Delicious.
It's pie season.
Pie season. I also bought a small pie a few days before as a special treat for a little play date for my son and his friend. A little section was left, and I thought that it should get eaten before it went bad. Now, it was later in the day, around 9:30 or 10 p.m. A few nights before, he'd brought us each a bowl of ice cream while hanging out, and I thought it was such a cute gesture. Oh, well, last night it was not. My partner said it was too late for that much sugar and grew quiet. And while I tried chatting with him, he was pretty shut down and just said that he was going to go to bed.
What?
I was pushing at trying to figure out what was wrong and why he was upset, and that's when we got into it. He started saying this conversation never ends well for us, but I was very much like, hey, we should be able to talk about things. So for context, we've absolutely fought about food before. My husband is a healthy guy who will eat almonds at night for snacks. Freak!
Loser!
And has trained and did an Ironman before we met. Freak!
Loser!
Is naturally tall and slim and does active outdoor activities at least a couple of times a week if conditions are right. Freak!
Loser!
I'm the female couch potato version of him. Ha. I'm short, naturally carry more weight in the hips, stomach, and thighs, and carry extra weight since having our daughter. I probably weigh around 30 pounds more now than when we met.
Also, you had a baby within those
just
times.
had a baby.
You just had a baby. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit more weight. Your body carries weight differently now.
It's how it works.
You just pushed a baby out of your body.
You push out the baby. Things change.
Things change.
Get used to it.
That's to your husband. We love you.
Exactly. I think it's important to work out, but I also love to bake, which I did not have much time for over the last few years. And I like sweets. I'll even admit here, it is my low-key addiction.
That's a good addiction to have.
Not the worst. I don't drink very often. I don't want to, but if someone handed me a hot chocolate every night, I'd be thrilled.
Ooh-wee.
It's just what I like.
If I could get that hot chocolate from the Simpsons episode, you know, where Ned makes like a really fancy hot chocolate. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Yes, we do, and I love that
Yes.
episode.
I feel like I've seen it, but I remember. It started with him saying he's concerned with my health, and he thinks it's important for us to be in good shape to avoid disease and to be around our kids. True and true. He then talked about me and sugar. He said it's the equivalent of someone having 3 beers a night and having a beer belly, or at least that was the analogy he was working with when I stopped.
That's crazy.
Dude, I was like, wow, so I have a beer belly? This is not the same. You don't understand the hormones, the breastfeeding, everything I've gone through to have these kids. Yeah. Hey, I'm so sorry I've been carrying your child, you know.
If she freaking carried my child and then was like, I want a pie, I'd be like, yes, have a pie.
Hey, Sophia, did you know? Okay, so when you have a baby, right, you're carrying the weight of the baby is there, like, you know,
What?
all these things
I
happen,
didn't know
right?
that before.
Right? It's kind of
That's
crazy. So you gain this weight. It's like you ate 2 full cakes a day.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
That's what it's like. It's like if you were at like actually.
Yeah, that's
Did you know
actually
that?
even better.
Yeah.
It's like you drank 2 cakes a night.
Come
Come
You're just
on.
drinking 2 kegs.
Ugh. So it's not like I have independently have extra fat. That's not the same. It's related to the kids, as we were saying. Also, FYI, I had lost some weight post the first kid, but not all, and very slowly. So I have more of a give it some time approach with it. And he finally just said, it's not attractive.
Well, your attitude isn't attractive, dude.
Basically saying that he's not attracted to me now, which felt like a full blow to my self-esteem and the good feelings I was starting to have about my body and working out again lately.
Yeah.
She's already on the path.
She's already freaking working. That is ridiculous to say to someone, I don't think you're being healthy when they're actively working out.
Yeah, when they're like working.
Yeah.
Because it's like if once someone is like, especially like they're early on the path, it's positive
so
reinforcement is
demoralizing,
it's so demoralizing.
Yeah.
They're just going to stop.
Yeah.
You freaking
Yeah.
I told him what he was saying is really hurting me, and the very thing that he talks about, which is that he liked more intimacy. I'm like, I need to feel confident and beautiful to want to have that intimacy, and you've just hurt that. If I know you aren't attracted to me, why would I want to be naked in front of you?
Yeah, you're
Like,
making
that
her
doesn't feel safe.
insecure, and she's probably freaking hot.
Exactly, and he's
Not.
She's like, listen, if you want to help yourself, buddy,
Yeah.
and get me back in the sack, breaking my back,
Literally.
Let me cook. He also said that the way I was being defensive is just like his dad to his mom, who have spent years fighting about his dad's low-key drinking problems and weight.
This is insane that he is comparing her baby weight to alcoholism.
Sir.
She's having a mini pie.
Sir.
She's having a mini pie
living inside
once
her.
a night. No, like she's having a mini pie. This is what he's getting upset about. That she's
Unacceptable.
having a mini pie. She's having dessert. Some
Insane.
people have ice cream every night. That's like, what the frick is your problem, man?
You should be eating cryogenically frozen fiber stalks.
Yeah, he's like,
Every
you
day.
can lick
A vitamin.
like one of those sugar gummies,
Yeah.
and that's it. Then you gotta throw it out.
Or you know what? We just lick vitamins.
Just like
You know, you can't even eat them.
Can't eat
That's
them.
too much.
No, it's too much sugar.
Oh my God. And he thinks that I deflect and deny instead of owning my issues. Like he very much foresees me being like, yes, you're right. I'll cut back on my sugar. I eat too much. And I had to say, like, you're not the food police.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be an issue, but because of this vibe with you, I find myself feeling very weird around food.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to know what I'm eating 100%. You get shamed every time you do it. Of
Yeah,
course
she's
you're going to have that
gonna
reaction.
Give this poor woman like an ED if he keeps
Yes.
policing the food.
That would happen to anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I want to be able to eat what I want to eat without feeling shame or like you're judging me. To be clear, I make healthy dinners for our family nearly every night and healthy breakfast too. Most snacks are healthy-ish with fruits and nuts, etc., but I'm totally fine with getting a donut as a treat or eating chocolate at night after our kids are asleep. It's not every
Yes.
night, but it's often. It is my wine.
I agree. I love a little piece of chocolate at night. It's yummy. I want a little sweet treat. I deserve
Dude,
it.
sweet
I had
treat.
a hard day.
Sweet treat.
Okay.
He also had a tangent about yoga not being difficult because I told him about a yin yoga class I went to early on while trying different studios, basically saying, hey, you're not really working out.
Why don't you go to a freaking a yoga class and let me know?
How about you go into an Ironman and ride your bike right into the water? Because I think that's something they do. Maybe. I just did a strength class with weights and bands, and that's the day that I came home and was like, hey, I found my endorphins again.
Slay.
Feeling better. Opie says it was great. So what are you even talking about? Like, I'm actively trying here, and what you're saying is the complete opposite of supportive.
Literally.
I also love how Opie's speaking in such a natural language, and I'm trying to like
Yeah.
say it how she's saying it. Anyways, I was sitting there feeling miserable about my husband, thinking I'm unattractive, but also pissed. What's even the point? This feels incompatible and cruel. How do I get him to see how hurtful it is that he tells me he isn't attracted to me and to understand what I've gone through to have kids? And while I think he has a point about hoping for us to be healthy, this feels so much more destructive and unkind than that. Or am I wrong and am I denying the problem? How bad is it to enjoy chocolate and treats, but otherwise have healthy-ish food and work out and just not stress over it? Is he unreasonable or am I? We have an update where there's a possible redemption. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm
He
going
is
to say.
completely unreasonable. There is
Talk to me.
a huge difference between, only eating like super sugary processed foods all the time and giving your kids that food and
yes.
never working out,
Yes.
doing nothing like that. Or versus her having a sweet treat,
Yes.
for
A
dessert
part of a pie.
after, a part of a pie, a mini pie, and also doing yoga and doing all of this other exercise and stuff as she gets back after having a baby.
You should be making her pie every night. She,
Yeah.
listen up. You know what she had in her oven? Your bun.
Your freaking
That's right.
bun.
And it was bacon in her oven for 9, if you're like my mom, 14 months. 14 months the baby was in there, okay? That's a
lot of-
long time.
That's a long time.
That's a long time to carry a baby. My head was so far developed, things happen.
It's already sticking out.
But that's besides the point.
That actually, probably not, but the longer that a a species baby is, cooking.
Mhm.
Sorry, I don't know where this is going.
The
No,
larger
keep
the
going.
cranium would be.
yeah.
So it all makes
Like
sense.
smarter,
She-
probably.
I was
I wasn't sure if I was right, so I stopped.
I was in the womb for 14 months. My head couldn't fit out, but
Yeah.
that's beside the point.
Yeah.
The point is that
Oh no, it spread.
the point.
Yeah, I don't know.
The point
oh
is the
my
point.
gosh.
The point is that this is that's the
I
point.
think what I was trying to say is that when you come out, like humans, babies come out kind of useless because they can be smarter, but I can't remember the exact.
I think
you know
the
what I'm talking
point that I was thinking, which I think maybe was in line with what you were
about? Maybe
thinking,
it's like
is that
Connected?
because she has to carry the baby, he should be waiting on her hand and foot because she has to go through that experience that he.
Oh, that was the
there can't be
original
an
point.
equal
Yeah,
exchange,
that
right?
wasn't the point I was making right now, but that is the original point.
It's a decent one.
Yeah,
It's a decent one.
It's a related point.
But guys, we also have something very related, an update
Ooh-wee.
with a possible redemption. My husband and I clearly both felt like crap about this conversation, and he texted me
You
a really
should.
nice apology today, which is something. But I'm still really hurt by the way he communicated all of this. And yes, the judgment. I'm going to push for couples counseling like some of you suggested. It's absolutely true that it's not about my weight. It's the way that the conversation went. I was thinking during the conversation that if a friend talked to me that way, we wouldn't be friends anymore. Wow, that's actually a good way to frame it and think about it. So wild what people expect from their so-called loved ones to absorb. By the way, you can absorb us every single weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap to join the live. Absorb. So I also really appreciate the kind words and advice, especially from men and women who have kids. It's helpful to see this through their perspectives as well. No, he doesn't get up with the baby. Yes, I am still breastfeeding and waking up 3 to 4 times depending. I went to my doctor for exhaustion a few months ago and my blood work came back as quote unquote normal. So I'm not sure what else is going on there. It could be just being older and not sleeping well. I don't know. I'm like, because the woman, like, ideally in a relationship, everything at the end of the day levels out to like roughly equal.
Yeah.
And the fact that, you know, in this case, it's like the wife is carrying the baby, or OP's carrying the baby. The husband literally can't do it.
Literally can't do it.
So he's doing the exact opposite of what he should be figuring out how he can help and support her and like make her feel better versus just like attacking her for a piece of pie, a slice of pie.
A slice of that
Guys,
pie.
Come on. I'm going to give you a slice of my pie.
Hey.
My foot pie in your
Whoa.
face. Gotcha.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the appropriate reaction.
Ah.
Terror. Striking terror in the hearts of Opie's husband everywhere. In hindsight, reading this, I really laid on the I have a sweet tooth, and even calling myself a couch potato is only a comparison to his lifestyle.
Which his lifestyle's crazy.
Yeah,
Most
he's like-
normal people aren't doing freaking Iron Mans.
Way outlier.
Yeah.
Because I thought we could read through the responses together, which might help. I work out 3 times a week, which is hard since it depends on him getting home and coordinating classes, etc.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that you're just supposed to have a three times a week do a 30-minute exercise 3 times a week.
What is it, Riley?
30-minute exercise 3 times a week.
I just said that.
That's how it goes.
But I had to verify it.
If a woman says it, John doesn't believe it.
Exactly. Now we're getting to the real part of it. Working out around my 2 demanding kids, it would be laughable. There's no way. So I'm actually not a couch potato, also with these 2 kids, just not driven my whole life around fitness the way he has.
Yeah, and also, why isn't he taking care of your kid? Why isn't he helping?
He's more of a father to those barbells than he is to those babies. Okay?
So freaking true.
Get him out of the gym and in the crib. Stat. Toronto. He's also naturally really slim. He's one of those people who gets skinnier when he doesn't work out. His exercise is more about just building muscle. There's just so little fat on him and his mom. It makes a half German like me incredibly jealous. I didn't know that was an ailment that Germans dealt with, but there you go. Okay, so in conclusion, what do we do here? You're OP. What say you?
Oh boy, I don't know necessarily if this is divorce.
Yeah.
But I do think it's having a conversation with him and saying like, you are entitled to the lifestyle that you want, where
Yes.
you go on these Ironmans and blah blah blah. But I am living a medically advised healthy lifestyle, and I am taking care of the kids, and I just had a baby, and you guilting me for having a pie for dessert is not helping.
It's so completely the opposite of his goal. I think this was the tip of the iceberg, and it's nice that he did an initial apology, but what actually has to happen is the behavior needs to stop.
change. Yeah.
It needs to change.
This apology should mean I will not say those things ever again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree.
Agreed.
I agree. But Sophia, I might tragically abandon you for one story and then rejoin you.
Okay.
Are you ready to take the mantle?
I'm ready.
If I could just use the bathroom, I can.
No. Oh, we
Good.
can wait for you for that,
can
unless
do
you
that.
have to go do other things.
What's with the air quotes?
I don't know. You say you're going to the bathroom, but you might be doing other things, like taking a meeting or a call.
Taking a meeting
You see what you've done, Riley?
or a call.
No, you've done this before. You're like, I'm going to use the bathroom, and you never come back.
And you never come back.
That's why I was like, you can go do one so that way.
Do
I'm
one
good to go,
story.
No, we'll wait
Okay,
on you.
ready?
We'll wait on you.
Put up a timer and I'll be
Okay.
back and we'll read donas and comments and yes, and I'll be
All
back.
right, ready? And go.
I sabotaged my husband's gaming tournament because he refused to help with our newborn. My husband, Jake, 30 male, and I, 27 female, recently welcomed our first baby, Emma, who is now 3 months old. As most new parents know, it's been a challenging time, filled with sleepless nights and endless diaper changes. I'm on maternity leave, so I'm home with Emma all day, but I still need help from Jake, especially during the night. By the way, this comes from Puzzle26615 on the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. So, Jake works from home and is a huge gamer. He spends most of his free time playing online games with his friends. I've tried to be understanding and give him space, but it's been hard when he refuses to help with Emma at night. He's got to help his squad win those games.
He doesn't have time for kids.
Yeah, come on, babe. I am the leader of my Alpha Squadron.
We're playing COD,
Raw
babe. I
COD
don't have time
squad.
to coddle a baby.
You wouldn't understand. It's
Yeah.
life and death out there, babe. This is just some kid. He
You
can
wouldn't
grow
get
up on
it.
his own. I've asked him multiple times to take turns getting up with her, but he always says he's too tired or that he has an important game. Breastfeeding has been particularly difficult. Often, the baby struggles to latch properly, leading to painful and sometimes cracked nipple. You don't want that. Ouch. You got to use that, baby oil or cocoa butter?
I don't know.
Whatever you need
Something.
for what ladies, what do
Yeah,
you use
I'm
for
not a mother.
those nipple cracks?
Ouchie.
Let us know in the chat. I've had mastitis twice already.
Mastititis.
Mastitis?
I think it's mastititis.
Mastitis.
Mastititis.
Mastitis. Twice already.
Mastitis.
Which leaves me feeling feverish and in intense pain. Despite what?
You're just going masties.
I was close, I think. Despite seeing me in pain, Jake just laughs it off, finding it amusing. That's no laugh being matter. Mastitis would never and should never be laughed at. Kristen Dedu says nipple shields and ointment. Sassy Sin says nip chap. Lily Pilly Willy says there's cream for chapped nips. He never offers help during these moments, even though I'm visibly struggling and desperate for support. One night after I'd been up with Emma for the third time and Jake was still glued to his computer, I'd have enough. I went to his office and asked him to take over so I could get some sleep. He waved me off. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Saying he was in the middle of a game and that I should just handle it. I'm sensing some misogyny.
My misogyny senses
is
are tingling. Yeah.
You're on maternity leave and free all day while I have to work, so I need time to relax. You're just sitting around doing nothing all day. I was exhausted and on the verge of tears. I needed his help, but he was completely dismissive. And in a moment of frustration and desperation, I walked over to the router and turned off the Wi-Fi, which not that bad.
Not that bad. Not that bad.
I
mean,
thought she was
OP's
going to go and smash it. Like, that
No.
would have been worse.
turn off the router.
Like, she's like, I need to have a
She's-
conversation with you.
Yeah, and she's also being like neglected, and she's probably lacking sleep, is in pain,
Yeah.
is frustrated.
And even
Yeah.
she's like, hey, I realize I was not in the best place when I did this. Like, she's even feeling bad about just turning off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's when Jake completely lost it. He stormed out of his office, screamed at me. Apparently, him and his friends were in some sort of online tournament, and they were about to win when I unplugged the Wi-Fi. He called me selfish, irresponsible, and accused me of sabotaging his one form of relaxation. He went on to say that I had no right to interfere with his me time.
He
and
doesn't
that-
get me time. He doesn't get that much me time when she's taking care of the child full time.
I mean, she just needs
A minute. She needs help.
Yeah, she needs help. And she doesn't ask for that much.
No. And he isn't given any.
And that I should have waited until he was done. I calmly explained that I needed his help and that our baby was more important than his game. He refused to listen and continued to berate me, adding that I haven't even been having spicy sleep with him and that we've only had spicy sleep 4 times since Emma was born. He accused me of wanting to take everything away from him while doing nothing all day and sitting at home on my butt. Jake never helps during the day either, even after he finishes work at 5 p.m. I don't expect him to help during work hours, but once he's off, he should be stepping up as a parent.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair. I think it's
Yeah.
like you guys are both working
Yeah.
during the workday. And then when you both are home, yes, like there needs to be time for relaxation for you both.
But I think there's
But
also
what-
an expectation that like when you are a new parent,
You're
you're gonna
both in
lose.
it.
Yeah, you're gonna lose some sleep. You're gonna lose your me time. You don't get to just go play with your buddies whenever you want.
And regardless,
You're a new parent.
all right, like let's just say he believes, he was doing everything right, all right? When your partner goes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm exhausted. I need help taking care
Yeah,
of
listen
our
to them.
child." If you're a good partner and a good parent, you're going to do something.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine my partner being like, "Hey, I need help with the baby."
And be like,
"Not
nah,
my
I'm
problem.
playing video games.
Play video games. My work was done way back at the beginning. I shot my shot, and now it's on you, babe."
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Instead, he goes straight to his games, leaving me to handle everything alone. Since then, he's been sulking around the house, barely speaking to
my
me.
God.
To make matters worse, his friends have been sending me nasty messages, calling me a crazy wife and saying I'm unreasonable.
Oh, now he's probably ranting to his friends like, "Oh, my wife is insane. Won't let me play anything."
Do any of them have children?
They must not. Or if
Also-
they do, maybe this is how they act as well.
All right. Maybe I don't remember the ages, if we got ages at the beginning, but this feels like a young, like I have to believe
Possibly
it's a young marriage
couple.
because this is so immature.
Incredibly.
Like to not be taking care of your child.
No, incredibly
like this.
immature.
Also, don't you want to take care of your kid? Do you not feel any obligation?
I guess not.
Or maybe as old school values where it's like, Ray, I'm
She
taking care of
has
my
to take
kid, he's
care-
doing my
yeah.
job. Chibi Lee says, where is her me time? Exactly.
No, he doesn't want to give her because he is not prioritizing her at all. It's all about him.
Like, I think maybe when a kid gets older, there's less full-time attention that needs to be there with a kid.
Yeah, but when you have a newborn baby,
It's all consuming.
it's all
Always like the
like
whole
they
thing
never have
is like,
sleep.
yeah, you have
Yeah.
the joke is you get no sleep and it's torture
Yeah.
for like the first couple of years.
Yeah.
One of them even suggested that Jake should leave me because I'm too demanding.
God. Yeah, and now his friends are telling him to leave his wife and newborn child.
Dude, I hate these guys.
I hate him.
I
Hate him.
hate these guys. I feel like I'm losing my mind here. I am too. Just trying to get a bit of support. I'm exhausted, and all I wanted was for Jake to step up. Jake, get
Come
off
on,
your
Jake.
games.
Come on,
Be an
Jake.
adult.
Ridiculous.
Be a father. Where are you?
Where are you?
I'm sorry. Instead, I'm being painted as a villain for wanting to help with our newborn.
No, not a villain. Not a villain. You literally turned off the Wi-Fi. Like, boo freaking who?
Yeah.
Get over it. I'm
Come
sorry.
back to the real world, husband.
I just can't imagine getting that upset over turning off a video game.
I mean,
Even if you're in a
it
game.
was his tournament.
I don't even care.
was
Unless
his
he's getting
tournament.
paid for that.
It was his tournament.
I don't even care. Why
Yeah,
is he in
unless
a
he's
tournament
bringing-
when he's a new father?
Because he's got a game.
He's got to.
Also, like, this doesn't feel like the most relaxing environment. Like, you said you
No.
need to relax. And,
Yeah, you
like,
said you need me time. You're
a
hanging with the
high
boys.
stakes tournament. Yeah. Also, yeah, when is she getting her me time? I'm also curious, like, what do you think should be the expectation if you have someone working full time and someone being a full parent after 5 p.m.? What do you feel like the expectation is for each partner? Obviously, this guy should be taking care of his kid, but like, what do you think is the ask here if she is trying to stay in the relationship and it's not like a instant divorce? If she's like, hey, like, he's actually good besides this gaping red flag that I see right in front of me, and wants to stay, like, what do you ask for? And then if that doesn't happen, maybe, we go to divorce. Tia says, divorce now. He's never going to change. Michelle D says 50-50. So 5 p.m., 50-50. That's what feels right to me.
I think so. I think she's been taking care of and when you have a newborn, you can't just like go take a shower when you need to. You can't go to the bathroom without
it's all you're like, yes, the
Yeah.
baby is sleeping maybe sometimes, but the baby also doesn't sleep that long when it's a newborn baby. That baby's waking up like
Crying.
every 30 minutes. And also just like the all consuming thing of like just suppressing all of your needs for
Yes.
another being like, it's just
I think
hard.
it's much like I think it's harder than almost any job if you are full time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, also like, there's. I don't know what kind of
Like,
job this guy
childcare is
has, but
so
childcare
hard.
is often more demanding than maybe the average job.
I think so. As someone who's like babysat, and done like I worked at a unnamed coffee shop. It was much harder to babysit. Not saying that it wasn't fun, but it was like 5 hours. I was like running around for 5 hours, and also like you're like on. You have to be on and watching and aware.
Yeah. Sophia's done the babysitting. She knows.
Mhm.
Also, on the note of how old everyone, Jessica Hinckley, thank you for the reminder. He's 30. She's 27. So he's not even
Ridiculous.
young enough to get taken off the hook.
Mm-mm.
Not that he should be, regardless of how
Yeah.
old he is. Said I'm being painted as the villain for wanting help with our newborn. Am I the a-hole? We do have edits. We do have updates. But is OP the a-hole? And also, every time I hear a story like this, and I hear am I the a-hole after an obvious, it makes me sad.
Yeah.
It makes me sad because this woman has been
Convinced.
that this is normal behavior.
Mhm.
That like her husband can completely shut her out of his responsibility.
Yeah.
Like his responsibility to take care of this kid, and he's just like, no,
Yeah, he's like, no, it's me time.
it's me time.
And then he gets all of his friends to harass her. So she's already probably like, she has no sleep, she's exhausted, she's in pain, and now she's getting text messages saying that she's crazy
That
and
is
that
over
she should get
the
divorced.
line.
That's
that is
ridiculous.
even if he believes that he is right.
Yeah,
to
that's
have your
still over the
friends
line.
harass your wife is insane.
Well, the thing that he could have done, if he thought he was right, he could have gone to her and said like, hey, that was over the line.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
But no, because he's in the wrong.
This isn't one of your COD chat rooms where you can just yell slurs and stuff at the top of your lungs and have all of your friends gang up on the one girl in the chat. No.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, you see how those I've seen the videos of those chat rooms.
Oh, yeah, those chat rooms are
They're like, make me a
vile.
sandwich. I love the videos where the women are like
just,
killing it,
just
annihilating.
destroying.
Yeah, and all the guys are like, make me a sandwich. And she's like, no.
Yeah, and they just like can't comprehend.
Yeah.
Marguerite says OP is so not the a-hole. I think all of us agree, not the a-hole. It seems like chat agrees, not the a-hole. Lily Pilly Willy says, hell no. Marguerite says OP is so not the a-hole. Alicia, not the a-hole. Of course. Jellybeth says, treating her like she's video game fodder. Nurse Aaron says, she is so much not the a-hole. He is, though, and his friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, this also feels like something systemic. It's like not like a single
issue.
This is like something that
This
feels
is his
like
beliefs, yeah.
These are deep-seated beliefs. But we got an update. For those of you saying why I married him and didn't I know this before, Jake was completely different before Emma was born. He was supportive. He was understanding. This behavior is new and shocking to me. And edit 2, to all those calling me an a-hole, I'm sorry.
Who's calling OP an a-hole? Gamers?
Yeah, dude.
The
they
gamers,
don't understand the game.
You don't get it. How could you do that?
Also, something that like scares me about marriage is that like just like someone can change.
Someone can change.
Someone can change like just like on
That's why I think it's like really important too. I mean, like we see a lot of stories where people get married after like a year of knowing each other, and I'm like, I don't think you can know someone until you're at least like
I feel
3
like
years in.
I feel like I haven't really known my significant others until like 2 years in.
Yeah.
And then like all of the like I think you just see who someone like really, really is at the 2-year mark. And then also if you travel with them. My parents say like don't marry someone until
you've been on a road trip.
if you I think road trip or third world country.
Yeah.
Either one of those, like tight quarters, just like camping or in a van for multiple weeks. Like can you there's going to be conflict that comes up. Can you get through it?
Can you push through it?
Can you push through it? And
so I went on a 3-month trip with my friends. Still friends with them.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen.
I went on a month trip with my ex-girlfriend, and she's an ex. We found out.
And there you have it. It works. Tried and true.
Every time. My parents traveled for months through Europe and India. Married for 27 years. More than I am old. 36 years.
Mom got married a year before you. No.
They've known each other since 89.
Yeah, but they got I think they got married.
They got married the year before, but they've known each other since 89. Okay, so
Yeah, so like 28.
like how long have they known each other?
Oh,
89.
okay.
Yeah. 35 years. Quick maths. We got another edit. So to all those calling me an a-hole, I'm sorry. Your words cut deep and I feel more hurt than I can express. I didn't turn off the Wi-Fi out of spite or because I couldn't handle my responsibilities. It was a desperate act after feeling completely unsupported and alone. I feel like I'm drowning in guilt and sadness. This time with Emma has been incredibly challenging. I'm constantly exhausted and in pain from breastfeeding. All I do is cry because I feel like such a failure.
And I feel like this is like when you have a partner who's going through this, like such physical change, you need to be so supportive. It's hard. And I mean, you're not going to be perfect, but yeah, she is a single parent.
She's a single parent. Like
she's a single parent with a really bad roommate.
Maybe he's providing a check. But yeah, single parent, bad roommate.
Yeah.
But roommates subsidizing the house.
Yeah, that's it.
Nurse Erin says, okay, this is making me very worried postpartum. I don't know if I would even like potentially.
Yeah.
But it's like, I would be miserable if this was my partner. I would be miserable.
No, as you said, like obviously it could be, but yeah, it's like
anyone would be super
correlation,
sad.
causation kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like, no, it's just this guy is terrible.
This guy is terrible. All I do is cry. I can't anymore. Jake works hard and I appreciate him, but his indifference to my struggles makes me feel so isolated. I spent my days and nights in tears, wondering if I'm failing as a mother and a wife. Well, maybe the postpartum is making her not realize how bad the situation is for her.
Like putting it even more, yeah.
All I've wanted is for us to share the responsibilities of parenting, especially during those late nights, feedings, and diaper changes that leave me feeling so drained. I've been struggling with feelings of sadness and guilt, wondering if I'm failing as a mother and wife. It's not about controlling his downtime. It's about needing his support during this incredibly tough time. I wish you can understand the depth of loneliness and frustration I've been feeling. Your words about me being selfish and mature hit hard because I've been questioning myself, honestly. Dang it,
Don't
Reddit.
listen to Reddit.
I never wanted to play the victim or make Jake out to be the bad guy. All I wanted was for us to work together like a team. Like we promised each other when we decided to start a family. I'm sorry if my actions hurt anyone, including Jake and his friends. I was overwhelmed and at a breaking point. I'm trapped in a cycle of guilt, feeling like everything is my fault. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just don't know how to cope anymore. I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm just trying to survive.
The fact that anyone, including OP, thinks that she hurt her husband and his friends for turning off a game.
They're playing a game.
And also his friends were still able to play. They took one person out of a game.
Cheryl Dye says she needs a therapist and a divorce lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like the fact, like, I'm debating, do you go straight to divorce? He's not even trying to communicate. He's not even seeing how far she's being pushed.
Yeah.
And
still is blaming on her. I just think, to me, it's the fact that he got his friends involved is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's whack too. Edit 3, a lot of people are saying I am making breastfeeding a huge deal and millions of moms do it too. But mastitis isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's excruciating, throbbing pain that feels like shards of glass stabbing into my breasts with every suckle. Oh, my nipples are hurting now. Oh, Jesus. Sometimes the pain is so intense that I cry silently while Emma feeds. And I have to bury my face in a pillow just to muffle my cries because Jake has made it clear that my suffering is a nuisance to him. Oh, this is sad.
This is really sad. You are a single parent. Like, it's like when people say, don't divorce for the kids. He's not doing anything. He's providing a check, which you would still get if you divorced.
Oh, OP, this sucks. He says he's either working, gaming, or sleeping. So I should not disturb him. Where in there is it parent? Where's parent? Because parent should be in there. You said you were going to be a parent.
Yeah.
And some people are saying that even if this happens to me, then what the F should be done here? Do I expect him to grow a breast and feed Emma? Reddit.
I hate
Reddit.
Whoever's commenting this.
Like, who's doing this?
And also a lot of times, like, I'm sorry, a lot of times mothers will like pump a bunch of stuff and then you'll have extra milk left over, in which case he could feed his baby, could warm it up. I'm sure there's tons of things that he could be doing. Could be, getting her water, could be getting her food, could be making her more comfortable while she feeds the baby, could be taking the baby immediately after.
Is there a way to make him see what's happening?
I mean, if she's already tried to have a conversation, he's not listening. I don't know. Like maybe the divorce conversation will shock him, but I don't know what else.
Yeah, I mean, like if
you're not
divorce
seeing
is going to be hard.
pain, yeah.
But I feel like I don't know if he's going to get it.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, I'm curious what you guys think. Like, what would be best for her? Doesn't seem like she has such like a bunch of like a support structure.
No.
But I mean, it feels like divorce is the best option. But we'll love to know from you guys. So, do I expect him to grow, breast, and feed Emma? No. I'm not expecting him to do that. I just want him to support me. He never offers to help during these moments, even though I'm in tears and desperately in need of support. Mistress Lida says, not the a-hole. Spicy sleep 4 times with a 3-month-old, considering that one is not supposed to have intercourse at all during the first 6 weeks due to infection. He is not painting himself in a pretty light here at all. And BFan72 says, as soon as he brought up the lack of spicy sleep, it showed who he was. If you told him that you wanted spicy sleep, he would stop gaming when he came home. This has to do with you not catering to his needs. You need to really think about if you want your daughter to be raised in a house where her father treats her mother badly. Remember that his kids learn what is acceptable behavior in relationships by watching what their parents do. Is this the kind of relationship that you would want your daughter to have?
Ugh.
It is sad. It is sad. I feel like when you're in these kinds of relationships, you have to get out, but it's like, you want to learn how to avoid getting into these things in the beginning. I think often these situations are actually there's a lot of people are constantly signaling who they are.
Mm-hmm.
People are constantly signaling who they are.
And I mean, like, I think as when you're in a relationship, when you see those signals, a lot of times we ignore them.
Yeah. And they're usually small.
Yeah.
The signals of who someone is are usually small and
you're
like
easily excused away by you.
Yeah. Yeah. Because like, oh, it's just like, this happened as a small thing. Like it's probably nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But usually what they are they are indicators of larger dynamics that will happen in a relationship. Yeah. And so like, for example, is this the kind of guy that won't help you if you need something to be picked up, right? Like, oh, like, hey, can you pick this up from the laundromat or something, right? Like, would he do that for you in the relationship? If that's something that he would never do because he's busy gaming, then is that behavior going to change when you have a kid with him? Probably not.
Yeah. I also think like, does he like one example is like, does he get you flowers? Not saying that every person has to get someone flowers, but is he doing those small, like, is your partner doing those small, and this goes both ways because this is something I would do. Like, is your partner giving you things, is like thinking about you.
Yeah.
And did you see a change from, is it like, were they doing that and then that stopped, Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really, it's like you kind of want to stop it at the source. I feel like OP has to get out of there as soon as possible. But I think like the lesson is to like people getting into relationship is really like listen to what this person is doing through their actions. Your gut.
Because
Yeah.
And sometimes don't let infatuation blind you from the red flags that your gut is telling you about.
A thick booty will blind many a people. So beware. Beware of the thick booty. Sarah Beto says, leave him with his child. No. That is a terrible idea.
What? No, take the child.
Take the child.
I mean, he's not going to take care of the child.
Come on. But birthday, Anon says, that was a part that really sent it over the top for me. What kind of person complains about only getting their little spicy hot dog wet 4 times since their baby was born just 3 months ago? Doing the math makes them look even worse. Most women are not physically, mentally, emotionally prepared for any kind of spicy sleep for at least 6 to 8 weeks after creating an entirely new human being from scratch. So either he's complaining about only having spicy sleep 4 times in a month, which is a ridiculous complaint, especially with a newborn in the house, or he pressured her into resuming spicy sleep immediately after giving birth. Neither of those make him the victim. And Popular Bonus says, and the mastitis It's a crappy man who enjoys spicy sleep with women in pain. Z Eld a pin says Saturday morning, put some bottles in the fridge, put the baby on Jake's chest, and walked out the door. Come back 8 hours later and asked him how sitting around on his butt all day was. Forewarned mother-in-law that this is happening so she doesn't come and rescue him.
The thing is, I wouldn't feel comfortable
leaving.
And if you don't feel comfortable leaving your child with your partner, it's like that person's not a partner. They're not a parent either. I think both parents should be able to look after their child effectively on their own.
Chicken Waffle says, yep, my friend did exactly this to her ex-husband, and he was very helpful after that. She left him for other reasons, but stopped real quick. Chance Internal 5450 says, husband quickly learned the hard struggle when after baby 3, he was the stay-at-home parent and I wasn't. Boy, how our relationship really got tighter than ever. Even though it was tight before. OP replying to some nasty daily comments, I understand your perspective, but it's really not that simple. Yes, I'm home with Emma during the day, but caring for a newborn is incredibly demanding, both physically and emotionally. Jake works from home, which means he's here, but he rarely helps with anything beyond his work or his games, even on weekends when he's not working. He's glued to his computer, gaming with his friends. He never changes diapers, dresses her, or even comforts her when she's crying. It's not just about the physical tasks. It's about feeling supported and not shouldering everything on my own when I'm already stretched thin emotionally and physically. I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm the only one making sacrifices. I appreciate that he works hard, but I'm also working hard to care for our baby without much help. Yeah, I think that's the issue here is she appreciates what he's doing.
And he doesn't appreciate
it at all.
He
does not appreciate or understand what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Or even want to understand it, seems.
Yeah. But I'm also working hard to care for a baby without much help. It's exhausting and it hurts to feel like I'm doing this alone. I just wish he would see how much I need him to be present, not just physically here, but emotionally too. It's not about throwing tantrums. It's about trying to get through each day without feeling completely overwhelmed and unsupported. A girl has no game says, OP, don't listen to this person. They are an idiot and an a-hole. You're not being selfish by asking your partner to also parent his child. You're on maternity leave, not vacation. Caring for a newborn is hard work, contrary to whatever this walking trash can believes. You are 3 months postpartum. You're struggling with breastfeeding. You're sleep deprived, vulnerable, and frequently sick, and your husband doesn't help and laughs at you when you're sick. Who does that?
Yeah.
He's putting your child at risk. He's putting you at risk. You are overwhelmed and exhausted and doing it all alone. That's when accidents happen. Jake is the bad guy. He is 30 years old, and he should be able to balance work, free time, and caring for a child. Instead, he only cares about himself. There are hundreds of fathers around the world who love gaming, work, and still parent their children without complaint. You are drowning, and your partner is watching you and laughing about it. Do you have a family? Any other support you need to reach out and tell them what the heck is going on? Where are Jake's parents in all this? Does his mother know he leaves you to do everything by yourself so he can play video games? Respectfully, F Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And F his friends.
Mm-hmm.
He is an adult with responsibilities. He doesn't get to sit around acting like a teenager.
Exactly.
Again, you are 3 months postpartum. Your husband doesn't help, laughs at you when you're sick, and justifies not helping because you haven't had spicy sleep with him since you gave birth. Please leave. You can stay with your family because this cannot go on. It's going to affect your health and the health of your child. Not the a-hole, but you are doing a disservice to yourself and your child if you stay and let Jake act like this. Yes.
Yeah, good commenters. I do think that there's probably like tons of terrible commenters, but I think also OP might just be focusing in on those
because where
she's already
mentally
feeling
at.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, OP, like find
not at all your fault.
Yeah, not at all your fault. And what you need to do is you just need to find support anywhere you can.
Anywhere,
so reach
like
out
friends,
to friends,
family,
extended family, and start like with separation and some divorce proceedings. Stay with someone else that you can.
Yeah.
Just like get out of there because Jake is going to be mentally draining you.
Yes. Agreed.
They Made Me says, I'm a dad gamer and stay at home Dad gamer. Simply put, kids come first. I stopped playing games where I can't really control when I walk away unless the kids are in bed. Also, you had a baby with a man child. You all need to pick better partners to have kids with already. There's no way this type of crap just sprung up. That's kind of what we were saying earlier. Yeah.
There's got to been signs.
He has been this way since the beginning and you chose to ignore it. It's really sucky because you and this kid deserve so much better. But come on, you knew that your husband was like this before the kid. I'm sure he barely helps with house duties, never mind child/baby duties. But no, you aren't the a-hole. Baby comes first, plain and simple. And OP responds, I wish everyone could be like you. It's incredibly tough when the person you thought would be there for you and your child isn't stepping up. I feel so lost and alone in the struggle. All I want is for us to prioritize our baby and work together. But it's been a constant battle. Thank you for understanding that the baby comes first. It means a lot to hear someone else recognize that. And the judgment, not the a-hole.
Obviously,
but we got an update. We got an update. But yeah, I agree with both those comments. I feel like both of them were like the first one was like first of all, F Jake and like get out of there. It's like kind of giving the power back to OP where it's like, hey, yes, it might feel hopeless. Yes, it might feel like you have no support, but think about what you were just saying with like, I think she was saying something about like mother-in-law, or no, I think that was one of the comments, but
I think it was,
But I think like, think about what your extended family look like. Think about what his extended family looks like. See if you can lean on them for support.
Is there anyone
out of there? Just like get out of there and try to seize a little bit of your power back.
Control, autonomy.
But yeah, he does suck. And also, I think going forward, really try to pick better partners.
I mean, I think it is kind of against the second commenters. I think sometimes there is a switch between before childbirth and after, because it is like a big change in a person's life. I'm sure there are some red flags, but I think sometimes it is also just like a big switch up.
Yeah, no, I yes, it can happen, but I feel like most of the time you have indicator like
sure.
Like it's very rarely do you have someone completely change.
Yeah.
It does happen for sure, but very rarely does that happen. Usually it's like a slow.
Well, yeah, more so I think like sometimes it's just like little things. And then when you have the child, it's like,
oh, it's big things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The things that were little become big.
Yes.
But update 2 days later. So first I want to say I initially posted this just to find out if I was wrong for sabotaging my husband's tournament. I ended up sharing a lot of context and I never expected to receive such an outpouring of advice on other issues. But oh my God, your responses have been the best thing that has happened to me lately. Your words have had a profound impact on me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much to all the mamas, dads, and everyone who offered their wonderful advice and educating me on postpartum depression. Y'all in the chat saw this early.
Yeah.
Also, I love when we got a comeback story.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? You guys were right. Sad. Me too.
I was getting sad.
I want her to get out of there and I want her to be happy.
Yeah, me too. And it seems like
maybe on the way to that.
Yeah, the internet's giving her a little fuel.
Pep.
Little
pep in her step.
Fuel in the fire. Let's see. So after reading everything, I immediately booked an appointment for the next day. And it turns out I do have postpartum depression.
Wow.
I'll be starting therapy soon, and my doctor has suggested joining a support group. I'm still considering it. I never thought I'd be saying this to random strangers, but I love you so much. You've turned my life around. Thank you so much to everyone who informed me about tongue ties. What's that? I went to see a doctor for this as well, and it turns out my baby has a minor noticeable tongue tie.
I thought
that was causing all the latching issues.
I thought they were saying that she had a tongue tie. So tongue tie is when I actually am I think I am tongue tied. Which is why basically I got braces and then my teeth moved and I had to get Invisalign and they figured out. So it's basically when your tongue, it's like I don't want to just like show my tongue, but there's an attached part of your tongue to the bottom of your mouth. It's like, So some people don't have that, or a lot of people don't have that. And so you can move, you have like more mobility in your tongue. But when you're tongue tied, it's like less mobility.
So you
That's
don't
my
have a latch?
recollection. Sorry?
You don't have a latch on your tongue?
What do you mean a latch?
Are you tongue tied or without the tongue tie?
I think I'm tongue tied. That is my recollection. Please correct me if I'm remembering incorrectly.
But Ming Ming says, good job, Reddit.
I'm gonna
Shout out Reddit. I've scheduled an appointment later this week to get that corrected. Without your advice, I would never have known, and it would have continued to be a struggle. So yesterday, I was feeling so depressed, crying all day. But today, everything feels so much better.
I was right. Yes.
Kara says the frenulum under your tongue stops it from moving a lot. If you have it, when you poke your tongue out, I
don't want to. No, I think I remember I had to go to like a speech therapist because they were gonna.
What?
There is a
when?
In college, because this is when I was going. So my orthodontist was saying like I had to get Invisalign because my tongue had pushed my teeth forward, so they were like going out.
So can you not stick your tongue out?
No, I can. I can.
So then what can you do?
It's so the position. So it's hard to explain, but it's just like it just affects the mobility. Like I don't have as much mobility in my tongue because it's tongue tied, and so.
Why would I not be tongue tied? Would I not?
I don't know.
Maybe I'm tongue tied.
You might be, but basically there's a little like surgery you can get, not a surgery, but like a little thing you can do where you just cut the tie basically. But then you have to get speech therapy to completely relearn how to talk without a lisp. Oh. And I was like, I don't want to do that, so they just gave me an Invisalign and we called it a day.
I mean, it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, my teeth are still straight, so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Each one of your comments made a difference. I've read almost all of your advice, though I couldn't reply to every comment. I spent a lot of time reading, and each one touched my heart deeply. Again, thank you so much, everyone. You are incredible. So to everyone who DM me with their advice and resources like books, other subreddits, and websites, I am eternally grateful. I promise I'll reply whenever I get a chance. I saved a lot of comments because the advice was so valuable. I'm amazed that so many people took the time to give me and my baby detailed, thoughtful replies. I'll try to respond to you guys whenever I can, and I hope you all understand. About the spicy sleep thing, thank you to everyone who made me aware that this isn't normal. I had been feeling guilty this whole time, thinking it's already been 6 weeks and wondering why I don't want to have spicy sleep. Jake was gaslighting me into believing that my spicy sleep drive should be normal after 6 weeks and guilting me for not wanting to have spicy sleep.
God.
Each of the 4 times we did, I felt very uncomfortable, but I thought maybe it was just me.
Freaking this guy keeps getting worse.
Now that everyone has shared how long their partners waited and husbands have told me how long they waited for their wives to feel comfortable, it made me realize how much I've been pressured unfairly.
Ridiculous.
Also, there were a few gamer people who trolled me heavily for what I did, but most of the gamer parents, especially gamer dads, came forward and shared how wonderful they are as parents and how gaming comes after their child. I can't believe that has to be said.
Yeah, it's like, like some of the trolls are like,
care of my kid over a video game.
No, I feel like the trolls are in the comments like, game before everything.
Yeah, game is life.
Game is life.
Game before life. Game before the life of a child. Mm-hmm. The first hour after I posted this, I was harassed badly, especially by this one person. His account has been deleted by moderators now. But after that horrific hour, most people were so supportive and so nice. I was thinking of deleting my post after all the backlash from some gamers and a lot of men agreeing with Jake, saying that it's just because I am on maternity leave. I do nothing all day and shouldn't expect Jake to help because he is working, and I am being unreasonable for wanting him to help out more. But thank God I didn't delete it. It would have been the worst mistake. Catarrain says that there's an age gap here. Why is that dynamic so heavy-sided? It's just 27 and 30. He's 30, so it's not like that. It's not that big of a gap. Trust me, guys, it's not just about the advice, but the emotional support you gave me in a day, sitting miles away from me. My husband couldn't even give me that in 3 months, being under the same roof as me. That made me feel so much better, realizing how much I needed the support. Again, thank you so much, everyone. I still cry a lot and feel an overwhelming sense of guilt, like a heavy weight pressing down on my heart. There are a few moments where I feel like I'm failing as a mother and a wife, and the pain of those thoughts is unbearable. But thanks to all of you, I feel so much better than before. Your words have been like a lifeline, pulling me out of the darkest depths of despair. Every comment, every message has been a reminder that I'm not alone in this struggle. I can describe the relief of knowing that there are people who understand and care. It's like a warm embrace that I desperately needed. And for that, I'm very grateful. You've given me the strength to keep going, to fight for myself and my baby, and for that, I will never be able to thank you enough. And they have some questions from the people on Reddit that OP answers, and we do have more updates. But this feels like a really great step.
Yeah, it seems like we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I agree. Just getting OP some confidence here.
Yeah, and I think that's what, like, sometimes when I read the first part of these stories, I'm like, oh my God, this sucks. How are we going to find a way out?
Yeah.
And what I love about the internet, what I love about this show, what I love about a lot of these subreddits, including our own, is the internet can just give context, you know? And it's not always the best context, but like sometimes it just gives context of what is normal in a situation like this. Like, what is okay to ask for? And also, like, are you so depreciating your own self-worth that you're accepting behavior that is way below the minimum of what someone should accept?
Absolutely.
Especially in a parent dynamic. Like, OP was not getting any support. And so it's really cool to see Reddit kind of unite in helping this person, OP, get a little perspective.
Yeah. I also think when you internalize everything, it makes you feel very lonely. But to me, one of the most comforting things is every individual experience has been experienced by, like, nothing. No individual experience is unique. As like a whole person, you are unique, but everyone, there's going to be like tons and tons of people who have gone through every experience that you have gone through. If that makes sense.
And like, I think in that is like, you're just not alone. You know,
exactly.
Most of the people around you probably are. Like, I think there's an erroneous thing that like you believe everyone's more confident than you are, or everyone doesn't have as much anxiety as you do. Yeah. And like the deeper you get with people, the more you realize like that
even the most confident person has a lot of insecurities.
Yeah. Insecurity is like a part of being human. And I think when you venture to ask the world, how are you feeling? You often find they say, hey, just like you. And I think that's a really comforting thing. And I think that's what you can get from doing posts like this, which is really cool. So we have some questions, and it says, how long have we been together? We dated for 1 year and 5 months before getting married, and have been married for about 1 year and 4 months. So a total about 2 years and 9 months.
Which goes into our
2-year theory.
Yeah,
and did you get in a van together? Did you do a road trip?
Yeah. Were there any road trips in those 2 years?
Were there any road trips? Was the pregnancy planned? Yes, it was planned. Actually, his idea.
Ridiculous.
I wanted to wait at least a year after getting married, but he made everything sound so good. Like we would be such good parents, and how we would do stuff together and how happy everything would be. I didn't need much convincing. I got very excited hearing all this and had butterflies in my stomach. But now that I think of it, while we were dating, I remember him saying multiple times that it's his goal to get married and have a kid before turning 30. So this was just a thing
bucket
on his
list,
checkbox. Emma was born a month before he turned 30. So maybe he was just trying to achieve his goal. A lot of people, mostly men, are commenting that what they believe happened is that we dated for a few months, got pregnant, and had to marry in haste all within the last year. And that's the reason he is going like this. According to them, I forced him to all of this because I am a bee who baby trapped him, and he never wanted to have a kid, but this is far from the truth. How long does my maternity leave last, and is it paid or unpaid? I work at a well-known USA-based company that offers 16 weeks of paid maternity leave. Maternity leave can be extended up to 22 weeks, but those additional weeks will be unpaid. How does my income compare to his? I do make a little more money than he does annually, but also have longer working hours. He usually works from 10 to 5 with an hour break in between, so about 6 hours of actual work. Why did I have a baby with him when I knew he was so into gaming? No, he wasn't into gaming that much before. It was like 3 to 4 hours a day.
3 to 4 hours a day is a lot.
That's a ton.
That's a lot. How much is he doing now? 3 to 4 hours a day is a lot.
That's like he gets home from work at 5.
When do you guys hang out?
Eats, and then games until he goes to sleep. After the baby came, he didn't game much for about a week, but after that, oh my God, he was gaming 24/7, even during meals and work breaks. Once I caught him working on his laptop during his hours and gaming with his free hand. He probably is cutting a lot on sleep just to game. It would easily be 10 plus hours of gaming daily.
Sophia Colon says he's addicted to gaming. Yeah, that's an addiction. 10 plus hours.
That's
and
more than he's working.
Yeah. You're doing it while you're eating. You're doing it while you're working.
That's so much. Does he help with other chores? No. He rarely does. I do all the chores like laundries, dishes, vacuuming. Once I threatened him that he must at least do his own dishes because I wouldn't do anymore. And after that, he got a huge stack of disposable plates, spoons, glasses, etc. Honestly, I use those too from his stock because I'm so exhausted sometimes. I do most of the cooking. He'll boil eggs at most, and that's like 2 to 3 times a week. About 3 weeks ago, I was already mad at him because I had asked him to change Emma's diapers if she pooped while I was at my gynecologist for a follow-up. He didn't change Emma's diapers, so I didn't make food for him for 3 days. He ordered DoorDash for all the meals. That's why even though a lot of people are asking me to leave him with Emma for 8 hours, I don't know what condition I'll find my baby when I come back.
No, I literally refuse to have a child with a partner that doesn't know how to cook.
Yeah.
You don't have to be an amazing cook, but if you don't know how to cook,
you just got to try.
Yeah.
It's not about like, it's about just contributing.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
If you can contribute, that's it.
So this is just like taking care of yourself.
Like
to a
with
certain extent.
my ex was a really good cook, and I am becoming better.
He's working on it.
I made a pretty good stew yesterday. But what we would do is she would cook and I would clean everything.
Yeah.
And that was kind of our role. She hated cleaning and loved cooking. I was not good at cooking and can't endure cleaning.
But I think even I would go beyond like cooking, cleaning. I think everyone, before you have a child, should have a certain level of cooking knowledge.
So you can provide for that child.
If a parent is gone.
Yeah, I think true.
Every parent should have a working knowledge of cooking.
Persa Greba says he regrets the baby. I don't think the gaming is the problem. It is his solution. Maybe he's depressed because of the baby he doesn't want, like the baby that doesn't want to go to school, or like a baby that doesn't want to go to school. Yeah, I actually think I was watching like a podcast about addiction, and something they talked about is like addiction isn't the problem. It's the solution to the internal emotional turmoil that someone is feeling, right? So he's probably feeling some kind of terrible emotion, and this is the way to numb himself from that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, also something you could do is like also see how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Not that he deserves that, but like if you're trying to figure out like how to proceed, I think starting with how he's feeling, even though he doesn't deserve your kindness or empathy, like I think it might improve the like proceeding towards divorce,
at least co-parenting, even like it's not even staying together. It's just like, can we co-parent?
Life, you know, I was only gone for an hour and a half, and I came home to her crying and soiled while my husband had his headphones on. He claimed he didn't hear her crying. God knows how long my baby had been crying. I felt awful that night and cried myself to sleep, thinking, did she start crying as soon as I left, and cry for the whole hour and a half? I have no idea what I will do after I resume my job, and I barely have 10 weeks to figure everything out. I haven't thought about what to do about Jake as of now, but I'll let you know. A lot of people have suggested that I go to my parents' house or call my mother-in-law, but it would create a huge scene if I did. My parents, especially my dad, are very protective of me since I'm an only child. If he knew how Jake has been treating me and our daughter, he would take me home immediately and get me divorced.
Go to them. They seem super supportive.
Yeah.
Go to them.
And Jake would be in serious trouble. He doesn't like Jake already. And if my cousin brothers found out, I can't even explain what would happen to him. So it looks like you have a support system.
Yeah, go to them.
I'm the only sister in the family, so they are extremely protective of me as well. It's not that I don't want to be with my family or get their help, but I would have to explain the reason, and I don't want to do this to Jake just yet. Many people have mentioned that Jake might have postpartum depression too, because it's unusual for him to change all of a sudden like this. I still want to hold on to hope after reading all those comments about how therapy changed their husbands, and even some dads coming forward telling me how they used to be like Jake and now they have changed.
But I don't think that matters right now. There's no way that he's going to change quick enough, you know, for you to be able to stay in this situation. I think that you need to have some separation.
Yes, completely agree. I think you are not going to feel good and not going to be able to take care of your child in this environment because he's creating this hostile environment for you and your child. So
I think you go straight to your support system that clearly is protective of you. And I think like it's just remembering, like OP's like, oh well, I don't want to, I don't want to get them, like I don't want them to attack Jake. I still want to give Jake a chance. Yeah. You've given him multiple chances, and I also think it's time to also think about
Give yourself. Give yourself a chance, and also like,
but also your child. I mean, and you, it's like very fairly so cannot take care of this child alone right now.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like Jake, like I'm not saying you. Because it sounds like she doesn't want to give up completely on Jake. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but I think Sophia's right. You do have to get out of this environment. And maybe what you can do is like once you get out of the environment, it's like, hey, like it seems like you might be going through postpartum depression.
Yeah.
I think you need a therapist. I can't be with you right now.
Until I see that change.
Until I see change. I really hope you get the help that you need.
Yeah.
And I think that feels like the best way to leave. It's also empathetic. It's empathetic to yourself, empathetic to baby, and empathetic to him, right? Because he's
not going to change until he's shaken.
Until he's shaken a little bit. I really do think like he might have the ability to change. Like I don't want to write him off for not doing that, but you don't need to be there and
to see that change.
Yeah, to see that change or to carry the burden of that. Yeah, Chibi Lee says she needs to leave her. And even some dads coming forward telling me how they used to be like Jake and now they've changed. However, 2 to 3 dads also DM'd me saying they are like Jake and told me to run as far as I can. One of them said,
they're like, yeah, I do this too. You should probably leave.
One of them said he ended up his 6-month-old baby when he was crying. Another said he shook his baby, which, that is one of the signs of postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this terrified me. Jake is behaving awfully, but I think he would never do something like that. But after reading all of this, I don't think I can leave Emma alone with him.
The thing is that regardless if he'd go there, he's already put your child in danger by letting her cry for who knows that long.
I'm crying writing this, but I want you all to know that when Emma grows up, I will make sure to tell her about the kind strangers who helped her and her mama in such difficult times. I'll tell her about the people who, even from miles away, reached out with their hearts and lifted us up when we were at our lowest. The tears I shed now are not just from the pain and exhaustion, but also from the overwhelming gratitude I feel for each one of you. I'll forever be grateful for your kindness and compassion, and I want Emma to know that in our darkest moments, there were angels who came to our rescue. Thank you for giving us the strength to carry on. I'll try to keep all of you updated on how things progress. Sending love and gratitude to each and every one of you. And edit, many of you are urging to call my dad ASAP and get this help. Agreed.
Yes.
Trust me, I understand why you're saying this, but there's something you should know about my dad. When it comes to me, he's incredibly hot-headed and protective. If my dad, brothers, and uncles find out about how Jake has been treating me, they will definitely go after him, and it won't end well. I'm scared they will face charges or worse, and what they'll do to Jake. I mean, that's a support system right there.
Yeah. We'll go to bat for you.
Even if Jake decides to get therapy and changes, my dad will never let me try again with him. There's no way my family will allow Jake back into my life. Maybe good. Once they know everything, it hurts every day when I have to hold back tears while talking to my mom, dad, and other family members. It hurts to lie to my parents, to pretend that everything is perfect when I'm actually falling apart. Sometimes I break down while on calls and I have to cut the conversation short, lying that Emma woke up again so they don't hear me crying. You don't know how much I want to tell them, how much I want their support, but I'm terrified of making a decision there's no coming back from in such haste, but you need to tell them.
You need to tell them.
I fear making a decision in haste that leaves no room for redemption or reconciliation. But this isn't haste. You've been thinking about this for a while and he's shown his colors.
Yeah.
Tell Papa Bear and have that grizzly go on a rampage.
Agreed.
But we got some relevant comments and possibly another update.
Whoa.
So Smeaghead says, seriously, leave him. Let your dad do what he will. He's not going to get any better. Good luck. And Good Focus 2665 says, agreed. You gain nothing by protecting Jake from your father. You'll gain support and much needed rest if you tell your dad. They are more likely to help you with the kid than Jake. And Fair Strawberry 6709 says, honey, it's a big booty red flag that your dad already doesn't like him. Your dad is the person to call right now. Please, I say this from experience, he will not change without a harsh reality check. And even then, he will only change if he wants to. Go where you actually have support. Call your dad.
Yep.
And the Thistle123 says, absolutely this. Be with people who love you and Emma. It's time for you both to get some peace. We have an update a few hours later.
Yeah, no, I think you have to immediately go to your parents.
It's only been 5 hours since I posted my last update, but they have been enough to knock some sense into me. You guys are right.
Woo.
I'm being an a-hole and not prioritizing my baby, so I need to get out of here ASAP. Oh my God. I read the comments and I'm overwhelmed. I'm crying hysterically again. Jake even shouted from the other room asking if I could keep it down. You're right. He won't change. He's so insensitive. Realizing how foolish I've been has hit me hard. You all made me see how stupid I am for not leaving Jake and going to my parents, and how I am putting both Emma's and my lives in danger. The thing that moved me the most was when you told me to imagine if it was Emma being treated like this, would I want her to keep quiet or tell me what's happening with her? That hit me so hard. I can't bear the thought of her going through what I'm going through. I've decided to talk to my family tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. I need some time to think about how much to say to them so the worst doesn't happen and my family doesn't end up in jail. They love me a lot and have been protective of me since I was a little kid. I also need to find and upload all the recordings from the CCTV cameras to my laptop, which will help me with custody if we end up getting divorced. I need time to figure out the recordings and CCTV stuff, so I'll probably call someone for help. I'm thinking of doing this discreetly when Jake is sleeping because I'm scared he might completely lose it. I know he probably won't even notice since he mostly sleeps between gaming and doesn't come out of his room. But then again, I've been an idiot about so much stuff already, so let me know if I should do it another way. Please, if there are steps other than recordings and important documents I should take before telling my family and leaving, let me know, because I know once I leave, I won't be coming back. And Ming Ming says, send them the post. Send the parents the post, the family.
Yeah, and then you don't have to this is already verbalized for you.
I know I don't reply often, but I read your comments and I promise I'll try to reply when things are better. But please, I only have a little time and don't want to mess this up. You guys have scared the heck out of me with the possibilities of what could happen. You all are saying Jake will unalive the baby and I'll end up doing a funeral for my baby. Please don't say stuff like that. That's a very cruel and mean thing to say. I've already been so depressed and crying, and now it feels like I'm drowning again. Please, please, please stop saying that. It's very insensitive, even if you're saying this, so I would ask for help and leave Jake. Secondly, I know you must be thinking, why does this woman cry a lot? She's always crying and she's pathetic.
Hopi.
But I don't know what's happening to me. All I do is cry, and I wasn't like this before. I cried very little before giving birth, to be honest. I'm just very overwhelmed.
You're burnt out, and you have PPD. We've already established this.
To those who are saying bad things about my dad, calling him a psycho control freak with anger issues, trust me, it's nothing like that. He's actually a very calm person, but he is very close to me and extremely protective. Since I was little, he gets very protective when someone raises their voice at me. He's not a bad person. He just cares deeply about me. Thank you all for your support and advice. You've opened my eyes, and I'm determined to make things better for Emma and me. P.S. Emma just woke up, and now she is staring at me with her big blue eyes, and she isn't even crying. Maybe she is trying to say something. I don't know. Even this is making me break down in tears. I am back from where I began. I'm going crazy. I can't believe, looking at her tiny hands, her little fingers gripping mine, that I was being such a blindfolded, idiotic bee who was going to jeopardize my baby's life. The guilt and shame are overwhelming, and I feel like the worst mother in the world. And Pride of Cape Town says, okay, Mama Bear, I understand this is probably the hardest thing you've ever done, and there's a million emotions/thoughts running through your head. But step one is schedule a breakdown 6 to 8 months or a year from now. I'm not trying to be flippant, so please forgive me if it comes off that way. You absolutely have to go through all your thoughts and emotions, but schedule them for later. You have work to do. Like Kenny Rogers said, don't count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for accounting when the dealing's done. Birth certificates for you plus Emma, any passport/citizen docs, remove him from your bank account if he has access. Lock down your credit cards, your credit/credit cards. And that is where that story ends.
I really hope.
OP,
Yeah, I hope you get out of there.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
Get out. You have depression.
Mm-hmm.
All you need to do is just give the word.
Yeah, just tell your parents.
Just tell your parents, give
and
the word.
then you don't have to deal with this.
Yeah. It sounds like they love you enough that they'll get you out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That is the end of that story.
Man, these two stories have been a little bit of an emotional doozy for me. Are you I'm a little
sad.
I'm a little
This one was
emotionally
sad.
worn out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know if the other ones are happier.
Really? Is it gonna be back to back?
Let me see.
Can we please like
I didn't
do something a little
pick the order.
happier? Because my little
Let's
heart
see.
heart hurts a little
on.
bit. But that is where this episode ends. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And
and
see
see
you
you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.